Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Hudson High School in Murdoch Field in Hudson, Ohio for this week's Hudson Community Television Game of the Week. And it is a spectacular night for football. We've had unbelievable weather here in Northeast Ohio, and we've got another playoff atmosphere here in the area with tonight's matchup between the number 5 statewide Division II Wadsworth Grizzlies and the number 11 Hudson Explorers. Wadsworth comes in 6-0, Hudson 5-1. And this Hudson Community Television Game of the Week is brought to you by the Gudis Group, Howard Hanna's #1 team in the Hudson office. I'm Michael Rickman, and tonight with me is Mike Elkins from Wadsworth Community Television. And Mike, welcome to Hudson. This is a great time to be here. It's obviously a huge matchup, and we're going to go through what we call our 3 R's here. And the first one is riches. Both teams come in here loaded offensively and defensively, and both are on huge runs. What's Wadsworth been doing that's been really good?
Well, Wadsworth's been stopping the run and stopping the pass. They're only giving up about 5.5 yards per play. 5.5 points per game. One of the best in Division II in the state of Ohio, behind only the Highland Hornets.
So our second one in Hudson comes in multiple attack. It's a little bit different than the last time we broadcast a game, as number 13, Christopher Horner, has been added to the offensive multifaceted approach with Brennan Funyak, Reno Furry, and of course at quarterback Hayden Lipinski. Second is Rumble. This is going to be just a no-holds-barred offensive and defensive line focused. Where's Wadsworth to be featured tonight on defense?
Oh, defensively, you're going to see a football team that's had some elite preparation this week, Mike, and they're going to play physical. The goal is to win the game of physicality, if you will, the battle at the line of scrimmage. And
Hudson, their offensive line a little bit shifted around to improve a little bit. And the other thing is Nathan Judy on defense. And finally, our third R is rarefied. Both teams highly ranked. We've got the Hall of Fame ceremonies for Hudson tonight, and lots of stuff going on as Hudson kicks off to Wadsworth into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback, 1st and 20 for Wadsworth. So, Mike, I know you bring with us Wadsworth's business plan for tonight. Tell us how they're going to approach tonight's game.
Yeah, coming into the season, it was all about business for this Wadsworth Grizzly group, and the business plan is elite preparation. This is a football team that has been extremely focused all season long. They know coming into tonight's game against the Explorers, Mike, this is a really, really good football team, and they need to be well prepared for the Explorers.
So a quarterback is going to be number 16, Bryson Hall for Wadsworth. And Bryson comes into this game one of the top players in Northeast Ohio for the first half of the season. Hard to believe we're in Game 7, and a quick out pass already for Wadsworth is completed and close to the first down, and that looks like number 19, Reed Close.
Yeah, Bryson Hall, Mike, comes in at 68 of 104 for 65%, 1,458 yards through the air with 17 touchdown passes on the year.
And Wadsworth kind of shows you the same kind of look you'll see from Hudson. They like to run their plays fast, and here's the quick first handoff. And up the middle for a bundle is number 2, Gavin Madigan. You guys have kind of a thunder and lightning thing going with Gavin Madigan and your other running back, Cooper Gray.
Yeah, he is the Army commit. He's going to West Point, is number 2, Gavin Madigan.
So another handoff up the middle. And they're going to pick up maybe 4, so to set up the second down for Wadsworth. There's a couple of quick first downs as Madigan picks up 5. 2nd and 5. On defense, you want to watch for Nathan Judy, obviously number 40, but also Funyak, number 26 at linebacker, as well as a ball-hawking secondary. And it's going to be a pass play deep and test out Hudson's deep zone. Incomplete, but right on the money, that pass to number 7, Calix Lamp. That's your favorite receiver, isn't it?
Yeah, Lamp is having quite a year. He's 24 receptions on the year, 640 yards, averaging over 106 yards per game as a receiver, Mike.
The stat that just blew my mind about your quarterback, Bryson, is as Hudson stops him on 3rd down. So a decision here for Wadsworth. They haven't had a lot of decisions for 4th down, have they?
No, they haven't. And this is an offense that they believe in the system. They believe in what they do. 4th down and whatever it is, they're going to go for it.
So about 4th and 4. is that Hall's only, Bryson has only played, Hall has only played 12 quarters out of the 24.
Yeah, that is correct. We've had a lot of running clocks. Every game that Wadsworth has been in this year has been a running clock in the second half, and Bryson Hall's quarters have been limited due to that.
So the rush from Hudson. Nice out pattern, complete, first down.
Yeah, that's Jalen King, Mike.
So number 12 tackled by number 12, Evan Walensky for Hudson, and they'll move the sticks inside the 40, as this is what Wadsworth likes to do. Work quickly, move the ball down the field, as my partner Matt Malumbo might say, matriculate down the field. And we get the running back Madigan for about 5.
Yeah,
5.
Mike, going back to that pass play to Jalen King, that's another bright spot for the Grizzlies. He's only a sophomore. 6 catches on the year, 3 of them for touchdowns.
Kind of like, what was it, James Lofton? All I do is catch touchdowns, and up the middle,
that's
one man to beat. Nice cut move, and that's going to be a touchdown. Number 26, Cooper Gray for Wadsworth. They strike first, and they're up 6-0.
38-yard run by Cooper Gray, the senior running back, the All-Ohioan, Mike, and that is the 20th consecutive game Cooper Gray has scored a touchdown for the Grizzlies.
As we look on the telestrator, this hole just opens up, and then just one guy to beat, and he's into the end zone. As we show you the Megastrator in action. My drawing is not that great, so this is the new kicker, right? This is
yeah, this is number 80,
Justin
Lazzaretti
for Wadsworth. Makes it 7-0 here in the first quarter with only 3 minutes off the clock. 9:56 to go, and Hudson down early, 7-0.
You know, Mike, this series dates back all the way to 1913. All-time series, Wadsworth owns the advantage by just 3 games, 16-13. But Hudson on a roll. They've outscored their opponents 154-3, Mike, in the last 4 games. And after that Highland contest, Coach Jeff Goff has really turned it around for the Explorers and have put themselves in a position to compete and battle tonight with the Grizzlies for a Suburban League National Conference title.
I want to quickly remind you that the broadcast booth and camera is sponsored by the Floridian Oasis Rental Home. So those great shots of Mike and Mike in the booth brought to you by the Floridian Oasis broadcast booth. So Wadsworth will now kick off to Hudson. Again, want to just emphasize what a gorgeous evening tonight. We're going to have almost a full moon to start here as we're in October already in the 7th week. Hard to believe, Mike, that we're already this far along in the season. As Funyak and number 4, Gavin Hitchcock, will be back for Hudson.
Yeah, the only difference, Mike, is between now and the end of August is the sun sets earlier.
It's definitely as warm as I think the first game we did, which was against Austintown Fitch, which Hudson won 28-14. And that's going to be Funyak bringing it towards your screen. Makes a nice cut, picks up a few extra, and he'll come out to the 26 with Hudson on offense for the first time tonight.
Colton Mellon on the stop for the Grizzlies along with Jalen King.
So at quarterback for Hudson will be number 18, Hayden Lipinski. He's usually accompanied by number 44, Reno Furry. And Reno having another outstanding year. 73 carries, 552 yards with 6 touchdowns as he gets a little bit outside, picks up a few, maybe 5, and it'll be 2nd down and 5. Remember, tonight's broadcast also is on Wadsworth Community Television, and that'll be on your replay system. And we say hi to all our friends out in Wadsworth. I have a number of them out that way, including got a couple texts today from a couple people looking to how do I watch this game live tonight. So HCTV app is the way to do that. You can watch replays on demand as well. As Lipinski, keeper, he's got some room, big room. We got a flag though, probably going to be a hold in the back there.
Yeah, it looked like Gavin Madigan and Tommy Hahn on the stop from that Grizzlies secondary. And as Mike had just alluded to, that one appears as though it is going to come back.
Yeah, on the backside, looks like number 50, Cooper Sullivan, got caught. A little arm holding.
I beg your pardon, Jude Holler on the stop, and Jude is down. Jude, only a sophomore, has had a great year thus far. Started, Mike, as a freshman for the Grizzlies in that secondary.
Well, Wadsworth comes into the night 6-0. They've, as you said, pummeled most of their opponents. Barberton, New Albany. The Medina game was the one that surprised me probably the most on your schedule, 47-0. What, is it just been blitzkriegs in the first half that's doing it? You said both offensively and defensively they're stopping everything, right?
Well, you know, Coach Todd in his system coming into this year, this season 2025 started in November of 2024 with a commitment for these kids to get into the weight room, get bigger, get stronger, get faster, take care of their bodies with nutrition. And we talk about a business plan, Mike, and you know, the ultimate goal for the Grizzlies is a state championship. And so they are really putting in the work, and you're starting to see the fruits of that labor in the scores over Barberton, 55-7, 35-7 over New Albany, 47-0 over Medina, 48-14 over North Royalton, 39-0 over Twinsburg, and last week 49-12 over Brecksville. They're doing the small things that really make a difference in a football game. You're going to see throughout the game, our wide receivers never give up on a play. They're downfield blocking on each and every play and trying to spring our running backs, Cooper Gray, Gavin Madigan, free for open field running.
So we're back to live action as Wadsworth player walked off on his own. Another thing to watch for later in this game with these temperatures is going to be whether you see a lot of cramping. As Lipinski rolls and throws it away, it'll go to 3rd down and 15. So Hudson had this drive started and moving pretty good, but now kind of stalling after that 10-yard holding penalty.
Yeah, great coverage there by the Grizzlies secondary. Ryan Stoops, Gavin Madigan on that left side in zone coverage.
So it'll be 3rd down and 15. Lipinski in the back with Faree. Drops back, slings it deep. It's hanging up. We got pass interference at a minimum, and no call. It's number 5 for Wadsworth, Tommy Hone, all over Hudson's intended receiver. We'll take another look at that. You can judge for yourself back home. I know half the audience may be saying, oh, that was great coverage. The other half is saying, where's the flag? He's pushed and shoved down to the ground is number 6, Louis Castellaren. Hayden had him. If he could have got that pass out further, that would have been a pretty good gain for Hudson as Katz punts, ball takes a nice roll. It's picked up though and knee down by number 14, Jack McNeil for Wadsworth.
Yeah, Jack McNeil, Mike, has done a really great job for us all season long on that punt return team. Oftentimes, you know, he reminds me sometimes of a center fielder going back on some of these great punts, but he's got great hands. He's also a receiver on this receiving core that Bryson Hall targets frequently. And now the Grizzlies with the ball at the 35-yard line.
So Hudson's defense gave up some points there on the first drive. They're down 7-0. They need to stand up and get a stop here. And right through the middle is number 26, Cooper Gray, for a nice gain of 5 or 6. Hudson themselves have been just outstanding the last 4 weeks, outscoring their opponents about 154-3.
Well, we've got an injured player on the field, Mike, for the Grizzlies. See if we can get a number for those that are at home watching this one. Yeah, Hudson, as you said, Mike, allowed 3 points in the last 4 ball games, including shutouts against St. Vincent St. Mary, Stowe, and Twinsburg. And this defensive unit of the Explorers, this is the best defense and the most physical defense that the Grizzlies will have faced thus far.
Well, I think the one thing, and this defense has just kind of grown up the last year and a half with guys like Cowan, number 40, Nathan Judy, obviously, and Funyak, as well as a solid defensive line. So that's where it's won. They put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, but teams with really good running backs, and we saw that the first week against Austin Fitch. We saw Miser in the second week of Highland, and he is just an outstanding running back. So, and Wadsworth bringing 2 outstanding running backs in here tonight. Our game also will be on replay 10 o'clock tomorrow night on the Rock Entertainment and Sports Network. Tune in on that, as well as an opportunity to see those guys, both teams on the Rock. We appreciate our Rock partnership as well.
Yeah, down for the Grizzlies, that's our left guard, Gabe Ludke. Gabe missed a ball game a couple of weeks ago due to an injury, and back in the lineup today, and it is good to see Gabe up on his feet, but he will need some assistance getting off the turf here at Murdo Field.
That's number 61. Gabe is a senior, so he comes off.
So number 70, number 77, Aiden Mysterix is the backup guard on the left side of that offensive line, and Gabe Ludke, he is the Grizzlies' best offensive lineman. And we just hope that Gabe is going to be okay, as it is second down now, Mike, in 5.
So Bryson Hall, just a sophomore at quarterback, and we'll talk about that at this next snap. There's another rush up the middle, gets through that first wave, and Hudson's defensive backs have to corral him, and that's number 3, Anthony Paolucci, along with others, including number 35, Ted Powell-elect.
Wadsworth going tempo, Mike, and that is the Goldenite is.
Oh, good stop there. That's number 32, Joseph Cavalcanti, in on the stop. 2nd and 9, and they run it as fast as Hudson. And rolling pocket, throws to the side, incomplete.
Yeah, typically the sure-handed Jack McNeil, that one goes in and out of the hands, and that'll bring up a 3rd and long for the Grizzlies.
That's Funyak on the coverage from his linebacker position. You see him sliding over, and in and out of the hands. So 3rd and 9 as Wadsworth looks to the sideline for the play call. You see this with Hudson as well, both teams using the side. You guys don't have those cards though, you know, with the Gumby and the U of I and all the various memes or symbols.
It's all hand signals.
So a little drop down, double coverage down here. He's under pressure. And Hudson gets to him, throws it out of bounds. It's going to be incomplete, and they'll go to 4th down from the 45. 4th and 9 for the Grizzlies.
Now we'll see if Coach Todd decides to punt here to pin the Explorer defense back deep, and he'll keep Bryson Hall on the field, and Bryson's been known to drop back and punt in this type of situation. Calix Lemp.
Do that quick pooch punt kind of thing?
Yeah, the pooch punt. Calix Lemp, the Air Force recruit, is off the field. I would imagine Coach Todd to punt in this situation.
At the full sidecar action going in the RPO. As he looks, maybe try to draw him off sides as well. They'll probably take the play clock down. He drops back in the punt formation, and there's the punt. It's a shorter one. Hits and takes the hop into Hudson's player. And Paolucci is stopped at the 10, so good field position for Wadsworth's defense.
And that's another great open field tackle. And it looks like by number 19 of the Grizzlies, that's Reed Close. Another good special teams play.
So Hudson come out with its second possession of the game here with 8 minutes to go. All this action with only over about a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Both teams have had the ball, a punt, and Hudson will come out for its second possession. And Hayden Lipinski has had a good solid year, his first full year starting for Hudson. He hands off to Furry, gets a gap, gets some space, slides his way out to the 18. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Yeah, Mike, you're right. He does a nice job of sliding his way behind that big offensive line and finding a seam on the left side.
So Lipinski, 55 out of 82 for 636 yards, 8 touchdowns so far this year. Hudson with its diversified offense. You see 4 receivers on this play, trips high. Lipinski hands up again to Furry. He gets outside, picks up the first down, and out to the 30 is Hudson. So they get themselves some space.
Yeah, the Wadsworth defense overcommits, thinking Furry's going to go to the right side and cuts it back to the left for a good gain for the Explorers, good enough for a first down. Great vision by Reno Furry on that play.
If he stays healthy, he's one of the best running backs in Northeast Ohio.
Absolutely.
Particularly finding holes. He has that low center of gravity as well that we talk about, similar to those backs from like a Matt Suey who played at Penn State in the Bears, or Don Notabart, or those guys who were really low center. Emmett Smith was that way as well, and they kind of bring it out. Lipinski going down, slings it out there. Incomplete. Good coverage again by the Grizzlies. That's number 4, Luke Maddox on coverage.
I believe, Mike, number 5, Tommy Hahn.
I'm sorry. Number 4 for Hudson, that's Gavin Hitchcock.
Tommy Hahn, a great coverage guy in this secondary for the Grizzlies.
I think the one thing about these two teams is it's kind of mirror images.
Yeah.
We talk about the process, you talk about a business plan, talk about the process from youth football through. These guys are on a program, and it's consistent through middle school. It's consistent into the high school, and it's about training. And Spunyak gets outside. He's looking for some space. He finally finds somebody's corralled, and a 1-yard gain by Funyak.
Ryan Stoops and Gavin Madigan on the stop, and you're going to hear those two numbers quite a bit here tonight for this Grizzly defense, especially Madigan. 2 weeks ago, Mike, Gavin Madigan in the victory over Twinsburg, 20 tackles. 20 tackles in less than 4 quarters of play, maybe 2.5 quarters before Gavin left that football game.
Hudson, coached by Jeff Goff in his 10th year. He's 79 and 33 and has been all the way to the Region 5 finals. And Hudson has had a string of good performance this last decade as Lipinski steps in. He's got space, he's got room, but overthrows the receiver. That's number 21, Mark Salem. One thing we haven't seen, that's 4th down now for Hudson. Looks like they're going to punt. We haven't seen from Hudson any touches by number 13, Christopher Horner. We'll talk more about Christopher when he gets those touches, but Christopher has been an added dimension into this offense the past few weeks, which has given them another dimension and really allowed this team to kind of accelerate their progression.
Yeah, to that point, my Coach Todd, and talking with him about Horner, he does bring that added dimension, different look to this Hudson Explorers offense as the punt is away.
Katz with another one, sticks like a wedge into the 30-yard line and rolls forward for about 8. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 22 for Wadsworth as there's 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Remember, between the first quarter and the second quarter, tonight is Hudson Athletic Hall of Fame night. We have a great list of Hudson former athletes and others connected to the program that will be honored at halftime, including Richie Pekarski, I think class of 2010, and John Lane, class of 1990, and Ben Gideon, class of 2013. And we'll talk more about all of them as the night goes on. The other one I want to congratulate is Ken Klemensick, who does all the photography, and you see that on X and various other social media accounts. And Hudson wraps up Bryson Hall after a gain of maybe 1, but he was scrambling for survival there.
Yeah, that is something you don't see much out of Bryson Hall. He's not a quarterback that likes to tuck it in and run. He will. On that, he did get 3 yards on the scramble, so positive yardage for the Grizzlies.
So 2nd and 7 for Wadsworth. Handoff up the middle and stuffed by Hudson. And that's a big play by Hudson's number 32 again, Cavalcanti.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Cooper Gray just ran into a brick wall in Cavalcanti. And what a great play. He stands up the offensive lineman and then makes the tackle.
After bending quite a bit on that first drive, Hudson making the adjustments on Wadsworth's offense, and it'll be 3rd and 6 for the Grizzlies. Play action fast, little pressure, but finds the seam, and that's number 7, Calix Lamp.
Yeah, Calix Lamp, the senior receiver there for the Grizzlies. He is going to the Air Force Academy. He and Gavin Madigan both going to service academies. Madigan to the Army, headed to West Point. He's in the backfield.
There's the snap, quick wide receiver screen, good block by number 14 for Wadsworth. That was Jack McNeil with a great wide receiver screen block that freed up Lamp for about 5 or 6.
Now you see what Coach Todd's trying to do is get the ball to his athletes in open space and let them work in that open space. Calix Lamp, one of those athletes. McNeil's another one.
You see one of our new camera angles tonight, bringing you right into the action.
Another piece of this Grizzly offense that we don't talk enough about is that tight end or that H-back position that's handled by Colton Levitt right now.
Play action, looking downfield. Hudson, good coverage, and here comes the rush, and it's going to be out of bounds, setting up 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, Bryson outside of the pocket, throws it away, kills the clock, and you know, Bryson is a sophomore, Mike. He's made some really, really good decisions leading this offense when nothing is there. He's not trying to force anything.
So big play for Hudson's defense as they want to get Wadsworth off the field and maybe have a longer drive than the first 2. As Hudson showing blitz, good pickup, and the rush is out to the 35, and that's number 2, Gavin Madigan.
Yeah, Nathan Judy there on the stop for the Explorers, but as Mike just stated, not before Madigan gets a 1st down for the Grizzlies.
And up the middle, he looks for the hole, waits for it, powers his way down to the 26, close to the 1st down. And that's Madigan again.
Yeah, we also give him the nickname of Tank because when those wheels, and you see him right there, how big those thighs are, when they start rolling, it's hard to stop him. Cooper Gray now back in the backfield for Wadsworth.
Up the middle. Push back, but he's going to be close to the 1st down. That looks like it's number 26, Cooper Gray, back in.
Cavalcanti on the stop again, and we're calling his number quite a bit. Linebacker there, number 32. Talked to Mike before the game here. There are 14 all-conference players in this football game tonight.
Now this is the class of the Suburban League National Division. Up the middle, 1st down is Gray. And so, yeah, you're a lot of returning seniors for Hudson this year. I think it was 15 returning starters, 23 seniors from last year's season. And they have some business to finish that they believe. As we see 1st down is pass out to the wing and stopped by number 12. That's Evan Walensky stopping number 12, Jalen King. As we said, they're mirror images. Even the numbers on the receiver and the defender are the same. There's the snap. Up the middle is Madigan. He gets them closer to the end zone. That's to the 8-yard line, 7-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, you see Colton Levitt, that tight end on that left side. And Gavin Madigan running behind Colton Levitt, Jordan Jones, Aiden Meisterix.
Up the middle is Gray. He stopped at about the 4 as Wadsworth having to work a little bit on this drive. 2:37 to go first quarter, but they're making progress towards the end zone. And there's another quick handoff. And he's in the end zone, touchdown, Cooper Gray, and Wadsworth jumps out to a 13-0 lead. Cooper Gray, as we'll watch just power football right now from the Grizzlies. As Gavin Madigan just slams his way into the end zone. His second touchdown of the game.
That offensive line, you know, we talked about winning the war of physicality in this football game, and that Grizzly offensive line asserting their will on that particular drive. Schmelzer in for the hold. Justin Lazzaretti to kick. And it is good. Now with 2:24 remaining here in the opening quarter, the Grizzlies with a 14-0 lead over the Explorers. And Mike, when you look back at last year's game, I mean, it was a ball game at Arkwright Stadium, 21-14. The Grizzlies won that one in overtime. And offense, Wadsworth had 229 yards, total yards of offense. The Hudson's 209. You talk about two teams mirroring one another.
Yeah, that was a great ball game there at Wadsworth last year, taking it in overtime, and you had back-to-back overtime games.
That's right, yeah, because we had Nordonia the following week.
As we said, the Suburban League National Division, this game the winner of tonight will go a long way to securing the conference division championship. Over in the American division of the Suburban League, Highland is a formidable team, as Hudson saw, losing 32-0 earlier this year. They are powerful. They're so powerful, teams are deciding not to play them this week. We won't pick on that school, but they get a free win this week. And they're in so they're Division II, Region 6, along with you and Avon.
That
so
is
that's
correct.
a loaded division as well.
Yeah, that's the top three right now in Division II, Region 6. It is Highland, Avon, Wadsworth.
There's the kick to Hitchcock. He's got some room. Gets it out to the 31. And Hudson will take over there. Their best field position so far tonight on their third possession. And they really need to kind of stand up and get a offensive possession going and put some pressure on the Wadsworth defense. Also get their defense some rest, right?
DJ Dom Jackson for the Grizzlies on the stop on that kickoff team. And you know, Hudson averaging 30 points a ball game, the Grizzlies at about 45 points. But you look at the last four games, as we've talked about, Hudson has absolutely played lights out.
Yeah, Hudson averaging nearly 35, or right on about 35 points a game, and giving up, you know, as we said, almost nothing. So this 14 is surprising. It's more points than they've given up in total since the Highland game.
And, you know, coming in, Coach Todd's, you know, says that this Explorer defense is going to be the toughest defense they'll face. And obviously this Wadsworth offense, perhaps the most difficult that the Hudson defense has faced yet this year, as we've got a flag on the play, Mike.
Yeah, Hudson, the movement's not going to help get yourself some momentum going. Coach Jason Todd for Wadsworth, his 9th year, 75-33 at Wadsworth, 110-45 in his 13th year overall as a coach. How's Mitch Evans doing, by the way?
You know what? I was just talking to his dad a few minutes ago. He's here in the box with us. Scored his first NFL touchdown last week. I said, how proud are you? He had to show me the replay.
Probably got called up on the phone as Lipinski is sacked by number 50?
23.
No, 23.
That's
Brad Watson.
Brad Watson. Bowden Bollinger was in that linebacker spot, Mike, to start the season, and we unfortunately lost Bowden to an injury. Tried to come back, but just couldn't. And Brad Watson has filled in remarkably well for Bowden Bollinger and that linebacker core for the Grizzlies.
So Hudson goes with a quarterback sweep. picks up 6 or 7, and he'll set up third and about 13 as Hudson trying to get something working. Pinsky's been struggling a little bit trying to find receivers. He's had a couple of opportunities where the receiver was either highly covered or he overthrew him. So big play for Hudson is you want to keep your defense off the field for a couple more possessions. 1:14 to go here in the first quarter of action. Remember, between quarters we will have the induction of the Hudson Athletic Hall of Fame.
Nathan Shipley and Jude Holler on that last stop for that Grizzly defense, and Coach
Hudson
Goff is going to call timeout.
We're going to take a short break and bring you some words from our sponsors while Hudson goes into their timeout.
You're watching the Hudson Community Television Goodis Group at Howard Hanna Game of the Week, brought to you by these fine sponsors.
Perry.
Welcome back to Murdaugh Field at Hudson High School in Hudson, Ohio for this week's Hudson Community Television and Goodis Group Game of the Week. Goodis Group, Howard Hanna's #1 team in the Hudson office. Hudson takes the timeout. Very important 3rd and 14 for Hudson. They'd like to keep the defense off the field as they've had to withstand 2 long drives by Wadsworth.
Yeah, Mike, Christopher Horner, we talked about him earlier in the first quarter. Looks like he's in the slot on the right side. I wonder if they've drawn up a play for Horner.
He's in motion. Fumbled snap. Lipinski scrambling, throws it, little dump pass out of bounds, and that'll bring up 4th down. Hudson just a little out of sync this week. Of course, that may have something to do with Wadsworth's incredible defense, but.
Well, you know, when you look at Wadsworth defense historically, they've got a very aggressive front 3. Last year, maybe a little undersized on that front line. This year, Mike, a little bit more beef up front on the front 3, and they're just as athletic, if not more athletic. Looks like they're going to bring a punt block here.
Yeah, they got loaded up, and a bad snap. Katz gets it away. It's a high one. Needs to take a bounce, and it does, and it's going to roll 10, 11, 12, almost 15, 16 yards. So good job by Katz to get corralling that football and getting it off into the air and allowing the roll.
Yeah, so. Good composure by the punter not to panic in that situation. And he had good reason to, because coming off the right edge is Calix Lemp, who arguably is the fastest athlete on the football field tonight. But he maintained his composure and able to get the punt away. And the Grizzlies will start 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line. You know, Wadsworth has thrown, Mike, for more than 200 yards in 6 straight games. That's for the first time since 1999, but I'm seeing a lot of run offense here in the first quarter by the Grizzlies.
Well, they've had good success with it. You don't want to mess around with something that's working. So we'll see what happens here. And there's another handoff. This one's Gray. And that would be the lightning part of the equation, right? As he gets out and close to the 1st down. And
yeah, they'll move the chains, Mike. Lightning. You know, both of these guys in the backfield, Madigan and Gray, are averaging more than 10 yards per carry on the season.
That's a really spectacular stat there. And as they're stopped for 1-yard gain.
And both of those guys, after every game, and Bryson Hall also, they give all the credit to that offensive line, because without those guys pushing up front, they don't get the running lanes and to use the talent that they have to get into the open field.
So that's going to end the first quarter of action here on the Hudson Community Television Game of the Week with Wadsworth up 14-0. We're going to go down to the field, I believe, to bring you the live induction ceremony or introductions of this year's Hudson High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please direct your attention to the field on the home side between the 30 and 40-yard lines. as we are proud to introduce the inductees into the 7th class of the Hudson High School Athletics Hall of Fame. Please give a warm round of applause for our class of 2025. From the class of 1995, Carrie Carnahan Lawton. Girls soccer coach Bob Dean. From the class of 1997, Courtney Foster. From the class of 2013, Ben Gideon. Tennis coach Janice Camp. Photographer Ken Klemensick. From the class of 1990, John Lane. From the class of 2010, Richie Pikarski. And from the class of 1997, Allison Wagner Downing. Ladies and gentlemen, these outstanding athletes and coaches were selected from a group of prestigious and qualified nominees. They will be formally enshrined during ceremonies to be held tomorrow morning at the high school. Once again, let's have another round of applause of congratulations for the members of the 2025 class of the Hudson High School Athletics Hall of Fame.
Welcome back to the Hudson High School Murdo Field for second quarter action on the Hudson Community Television Game of the Week, brought to you this week by Gudis Group, Howard Hanna's #1 team in the Hudson office. Wadsworth with a quick 14-0 lead in the first quarter as they're up currently. I'm Michael Rickman, joined by Mike Elkins from Wadsworth and Wadsworth Community Television, which will be showing the game on replay. You may be watching on the Hudson app, Hudson Community Television HCTV app, to watch live events as well as other sports and Hudson community activities. Mike, tell us what happened there in the first quarter.
Well, in the first quarter, you saw the Grizzlies, execute the run very well, actually between the tackles, which is not something that we've seen a whole lot of this year out of this Grizzly offense. They like to run off tackle and throw the football. So you're seeing Wadsworth physically win that battle at the line of scrimmage against the Explorers, but 3 quarters of football left to go, Mike.
So Wadsworth with the ball, 2nd and 9 from and we got a little motion.
Calix was on the wrong snap count.
So we'll back it up to 2nd and 14.
I will say it was a good route run by the senior.
Yeah, it was a short down and in, and probably sit-down route that they were working on. But anyway, so pushes them back 5, 2nd and 14.
And the other thing too, Mike, in the first quarter, that Wadsworth defense really limiting Lipinski's ability or the running game to get any traction.
Yeah, Hudson's offense kind of stalled there as Hall cranking up. Incomplete, but the ball right on the money again, number 7. That's Lamp.
And Mike, that was a 50-yard ball in the air by the sophomore quarterback.
He really threw that ball well. I'm sure a number of college scouts just salivated on that throw.
Well, the sophomore quarterback, Bryson Hall of Wadsworth, already has Division I offers from some Mid-American Conference schools, and you can almost see why. Just Calix looked like he turned his head at the last moment, took his eye off the ball, falls incomplete.
Number 6, Louis Castellerin on the coverage, and good job by Louis to break that up. So 3rd and 14. Don't see Wadsworth in this very often. He's got some room to scramble around, and he's going to get sacked.
Got a flag on the play too, Mike, from that
probably
back
hold.
judge.
Yeah, probably the hold. Yep.
Actually, from the referee, he threw it.
So I always ask our guy who's doing color, what do you do on this? Do you take the penalty, or do you see what Wadsworth is going to do?
Well, knowing Wadsworth, I would not take the penalty. I would force them into a 4th down. And your defense has been playing very well, so I'd almost kick it away here, but Coach Todd looks like he's going to go for it, but he could pooch punt it also. We've seen that in the first quarter.
So Hudson in position for either or here, and they may call the timeout. So he comes back, gets the play from the sideline. He drops back into punt formation and gives it that little pooch. Actually, that was a little more than a pooch. It was a punch. And Hudson gets the ball.
That's Jalen King on the stop, and I got to tell you that the sophomore, Jalen King, who got Special Teams Player of the Week last week for the Grizzlies, having a great special teams effort here this evening against the 5-1 Hudson Explorers.
So Paulucci with the return gets it out to the 30-yard line. Hudson has probably averaged their starts from about the 30. And this is the time here in the second quarter they need to make the adjustments and find that play that works. And what I like to go to in this situation is the wide receiver screen. It's a good, easy throw for the quarterback. Get it out on the side. Let somebody try to get some yardage positive. Just build that confidence. Start the momentum rolling with the offense. The other tight end down the middle, and that would be Horner. We haven't seen any touches from Horner here in the first half.
Yeah, you're right, and there must have been a penalty on that play. As Mike and you and I both looked away, they moved the ball back to the 20-yard line for the Explorers, so another long field in front of Lipinski.
So first down for Hudson. Faree in the background. Play action fake, and there's the wide receiver screen, but well covered. They must have been listening to me here in the booth as number 5, Tommy Hahn, with the stop right away. Hudson gets 2 yards on the completion.
Yeah, Tommy Hahn again, he's just improved so much as a defensive back just within the last year. He's a blanket guy, coverage guy for the Grizzlies with another good open field tackle.
Second down and about 8 for Hudson. They'd like to string together a long drive here and get some points on the board just to loosen up the offense and the tension that they're probably playing with here as Faree gets out past the 25 to the 27, and that'll set up third and about 5, maybe 4.
Colton Levitt on the stop there from that defensive end position. Also Calix Lemp coming up from the safety position. You know, Lemp and Madigan, we've talked about those guys a lot, Mike. Both of those guys are 4-year starters for the Grizzly defense.
Well, the other thing Hudson needs to do by having a long drive, make Wadsworth play some defense. You guys have not had to play long drives probably all year with some of what you've been doing on defense. Play action fake. Lipinski under pressure, fires to the sideline out of bounds.
Yeah, Wadsworth bringing the blitz on that play, pressure coming from both edges, and Lipinski just had to get rid of it in a hurry rather than take the loss with a sack. Brings up 4th down for the Explorer offense.
Yeah, Wadsworth seems to be in complete sync with the play calling of Hudson tonight. They seem to be right where Lipinski turns or pivots after play action. And so Hudson's going to have to probably go to quicker action off quick hit passes and other things that don't allow Wadsworth to take their time. It's a great punt by Gatz inside the 35 out to the 38, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Wadsworth at their 38.
Yeah, Trent Smith with a nice special teams play there for the Explorers. I'm sorry, Mike.
We want to say a shout out to the Laurel Lake Watch Party. The Laurel Lake Camera Watch Party, and when they have a big crowd down there, there's 4 of them. We say hi to y'all. Hopefully you're having a good time. Got some good snacks. Hopefully chocolate chip cookies or some brownies. Those are always my favorites. So we say hey to all those at the Laurel Lake Camera Watch Party.
Mike, I absolutely love that.
Big gain on the play action.
Counter action, Mike.
Yeah, running downhill is Gray again, and he gets the first down out to the 46. 1st and 10. Roll, pass to the side. Nice little catch there by number 12, Jalen King, having a great evening this evening so far on special teams as well as
you're right. Yeah, offensively, he's really coming alive this season as a sophomore, as a receiver. What you saw out of Bryson there, not something you see a whole lot. He underthrew Jalen, but Jalen able to come back to the ball. to make the reception for a good gain on first down. Brings up 2nd down and 5 now for the Grizzly offense.
So play action, lots of time for Hall. He comes up the middle, but quick reaction, and that's number 50, Cooper Sullivan, making a huge defensive play there. Makes it 3rd and 5.
Yeah, Mike, and he had Gavin Madigan wide open in the left flat, who was on a little wheel route, and Bryson Hall could not pick up the senior running back.
It's a big play again for the defense. Hudson showing blitz, and good job of getting there is Funyak, putting the pressure on, forcing the throw, and we'll go to 4th and 5, and I've got to guess Jason Todd's going to go for it here.
Yeah, Justin Todd will definitely go for it. I think Dawson Mendel was in the area, the intended receiver there for the Grizzlies, but at this point, the defense, Mike, is playing so well, so I'm going to have a second thought. I would kick it away.
Interesting.
Yeah, the defense is playing extremely well for this Grizzly unit, and it becomes a game of field possession.
That's a very Big Ten Iowa kind of response there.
And Coach Todd may prove me wrong. He's done it more than once.
So later in the game, we're going to maybe have some of these Hall of Famers as he does drop back into punch formation, and he does punt it. It's a line drive, going to give a chance for a return here. So that's Palucci, gets to the outside, picks up a bundle, and he'll be stopped and out of bounds at about the 36-yard line for Hudson.
Yeah, we had the Hall of Famers introduced between the quarters, and I had mentioned to you Bob Dean. He is inducted into the Hall of Fame as the women's soccer coach. Personal connection with Bob Dean. We're both Aurora alum, and he was my daughter's college coach for soccer.
Did you guys play together? About the same vintage? Or?
He's, you know what, I will say that I'm a little younger than Bob, although I think he looks younger than me. Palucci with a good run on the return. This actually, I believe, is the best starting field position, Mike, for the Explorers all night long.
Hudson, again, we keep saying it, they need to put together a drive, and so they start with the running back, Faree, as he gets a couple, and it'll be 2nd and about 8. They're just not getting space enough for him to rumble around.
Jaden Gross with a big stop there for the Grizzlies. Jacob Ernest in there as well. And again, this is a very physical and athletic defensive front three and linebacking core.
Need to mention our replay sponsor tonight. Replay is brought to you by Fleet Response. We thank our sponsors, Fleet Response and others, for supporting Hudson Community Television. So it's now 2nd and 8. Faree battles his way out for about 5, and they'll set up 3rd and about 4.
Yeah, Watson and Lemp in on the stop for the Grizzlies.
Hudson, their biggest play of the night's probably been 7 yards, I think. So this is a big 3rd down for them with 7:28 to go here in the 2nd quarter. Want to get some points on the board going into halftime, get some momentum going, need a big play. And there's Lipinski, he's got a gap, he's going to get the 1st down, slides his way out to the 50 and maybe to the 49 of Wadsworth. First time Hudson gets into Wadsworth territory.
Yeah, good
we'll
decision.
Watch this one again. He fakes the handoff here, slides it out. And Wadsworth bites just enough on that.
On the play action, yeah.
So 1st down for Hudson. I think you need to see more of that counter tray, get Wadsworth moving, quick hits. And there's Faree, tries to get outside, and he's tripped up. And loss of 2.
Gavin Madigan on the stop. And Madigan, again, he's coming up from that free safety position. He's 8-9 yards back and comes up and makes a tackle for a loss.
So 2nd and maybe 12 for Hudson. We're going to put trips high. Single setback RPO formation with Faree in the backfield with Lipinski. Quick slant pattern. He finds number 6, Castellerin. Good quick pass out to Louis, and that's going to set up 3rd and short, about 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's a really good play call, Mike, because the Grizzlies had Jacob Ernest, the All-Suburban League Defensive Player of the Year, on the blitz, coming to Lipinski's left side, and he dumps it off quickly into the right flat for a good gain for the Explorers. 3rd and 4 now for Hudson.
Yeah, again, we see trips high. Lipinski looks downfield, swings it out to Nathan Judy, who's in the offense for the first time, and goes through his hands. It's going to set 4th down. I'm going to ask your opinion, then I'll give you mine. What does Hudson do here on 4th down?
Yeah, I'm going to pause for a second and think about that one, Mike. I think you've got to go for it at this juncture. Coach Goff is lined up as though he's going to.
There's a quick snap. Faree on the play action. Lipinski stopped, though, and that's
Jacob Ernest.
And we hadn't talked about Jacob Ernest much before this drive, and 2 big plays by Jacob on this one. And we'll take another look at that. He just cuts through.
Yeah, Jacob receives a lot of attention because of how he plays the game, and they're able to make a big play for the Wadsworth D, getting them off the field on 4th down.
6 minutes approximately to go here in the 2nd quarter, and Wadsworth stifling Hudson's offense on their first 5 possessions. Hudson, though, starting to make some progress. They did get across midfield that drive. So Wadsworth will take over in great field position again. And there's Gray, works his way for a gain of 8 inside Hudson territory at the 48.
Yeah, Mike, when you look at Cooper Gray, doesn't look like a terribly huge back, but he's the kind of back that when he just gets a window, a little sliver of light, he works his way through it, and he's got great explosive speed upfield.
Ball on the ground, maybe? Nope.
Nope, not enough for a 1st down.
1st down by Gray. You know, he reminds me a little bit of McCafferty.
Yeah.
He has that smooth glide to him.
Yeah.
And then he can pick up speed once he gets through traffic.
And here's Thunder. Yeah, lightning his left, and here's Thunder.
And Madigan powers his way as Judy makes the tackle. That's 1st down gain of about 7, and Wadsworth just getting the ground game churning here. Hudson can't stop him outside. Madigan carrying Cavalcante down inside.
Yeah, Gavin's one of those running backs. You know, when you look at that lower portion of him, he kind of reminds you of, I know we talked about an NFL player, but Earl Campbell, right? Got the big legs that power through that 1st and 2nd level, breaking tackles.
Powers his way again down to the 15. The 2nd and about 5. And again, Wadsworth, they just keep coming at you. The offense churning quickly. We talk about Hudson trying to average 13 seconds of play. Wadsworth's got to be about 8. Down inside the 10 for the 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal.
I think Nathan Judy rides him down to the turf.
And that's Gray back in. So now Gray picks up from Madigan. They tag team out. And Gray up the middle. He's stopped at the 5.
Now look for look for Madigan to come back in. And here he comes.
So
on cue.
What we used to call Illinois, big power formation. They're going to overload the right. Come to the left, and he's going to get the easy walk in. Madigan for the touchdown, and Wadsworth up 20-0 1st half.
What makes him so difficult to bring down, Mike, is he's got some of the quickest feet I've seen out of a high school running back. He's worked so hard on his mobility that he's got this slip step to the right or to the left, and he's able to avoid tackles. Schmelzer with the hold, Lazzaretti on to kick. Lazzaretti added to the roster last week for the Grizzlies, in need of a kicker.
And he lines it through. Madigan, the 5-yard touchdown run. Extra point by Lazzaretti. I warned you, Mike, that I would butcher some name tonight.
You know, elsewhere in the Suburban League tonight, Nordonia is at Twinsburg, Solon at North Royalton, and Brecksville at Stowe. And when I looked at the schedule for tonight, Mike, in the Suburban League, it's 1 playing 2, 3 playing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It just lined up that way tonight.
Well, then you get Nordonia next week on the road, right?
We do, yeah.
And Hudson will have Brecksville right back here on HCTV, followed by Nordonia and then North Royalton. You guys finish with Stowe and Solon.
Yeah, Stowe would be a home for us, Solon on the road.
And again, we said you're currently sitting 3 in Division II, Region 6, behind Avon and Highland. And that is a loaded region, as is Hudson's region, which has
Hudson, Nordonia,
Hoban, Walsh, Nordonia. Oh, I wrote that down, but maybe not.
I mean, Suburban League football is, in general, it is a tough conference. A lot of great programs in the Suburban League.
Yes, I'd say it may be the toughest division in all of Ohio, which is saying quite a bit because this state churns out lots and lots of good football teams.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, just these two programs tonight, 14 all-conference players. Wadsworth also with 4 All-Ohioans on that unit over there. Gavin Madigan, Calix Lemp, Jacob Ernest, and Cooper Gray, All-Ohioans.
So Hudson, 3:33 to go here in the second quarter. I think they'd like to take it out to end the quarter with some scoring, not give the ball back to Wadsworth, and then come out in the second half, and they'll have the football to start the second half. So trips high, Pinsky back, steps up, looks for something. He'll scramble, dives forward, close to the first down. About a yard short.
Yeah, it looks like Jude Howler, free safety for the Grizzlies, in front of Lipinski as he slid on the play, dove forward on the play. Second and short now for Hudson.
Horner in motion. Again, he's not had a touch in this first half. Quick out, overthrows Fareed.
Gavin Madigan coming up on the coverage for Wadsworth. And you're right, Fareed was open there, and if he's able to haul that in, I'm not so sure Gavin's angle was right. I mean, Fareed would have had some grass in front of him to run.
So 3rd down and 1. Big play for Hudson. You don't want to have to turn the ball back over here before the half. Looked like some motion, but none.
Sure did.
Fareed gets close, but I
think they're going to mark him long enough for the first down. They're going to move the chains, Mike.
Well, if you're running those chains for Hudson, you're starting to move whether or not it's whether they call it or not at this stage.
Nathan Shipley on the stop for the Grizzlies. Shipley at the nose position.
So 1st down. That fleet response replay, 2:40 to go, first half. Lipinski back, slings one to the sideline, complete, 9 yards. Sets up 2nd and 1.
Mark Salem on the reception, and Mike Hudson got a rhythm going offensively now.
As Salem picks up the reception, he's not had a lot of touches either recently, and we got trips at the bottom of your screen. Pinsky pump fakes, gets the first down out to number 21.
Salem
That's
again.
Mark Salem again, yes.
Tommy Hahn on the coverage for the Grizzlies.
Remember, at halftime, we'll have all the spectacular extravaganza known as halftime here at Hudson High School with the Hudson Swing Marching Band following the Wadsworth Grizzly Marching Band. So we'll have two outstanding bands of the land. And don't forget tomorrow, the Parade of Bands right here at Hudson High School. You can also watch that on Hudson Community Television. Check the hub times for local listings as well as the website. Pinsky rolls left, dumps it, incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 6 with 1:31 to go. Hudson has 2 timeouts remaining. Wadsworth has all 3.
Mike, I see Reno Furry out of the game, and Funyak is in for him in the backfield.
We have penalty holding on Hudson. So that's going to set up 2nd and 15.
I just wonder if Reno's getting a breather. Yeah, that's not something that the Explorers want. They're moving the football. You don't need a penalty to stall a drive here. 2nd down and 15 now for the Explorers. Blitz coming.
Action. Pinsky throws it up out of bounds.
Now Wadsworth bringing pressure from the outside linebacker on that left side. That's Ryan Stoops. Then on the inside, it's Jacob Ernest. And putting the pressure on Lipinski, he had to get rid of it.
And there's the Malzahn Athletics Center. And we say hi to everybody in the Malzahn Center. Everybody wave. Looks like you got some good food in there. Anybody wants to bring a plate up here at halftime, we'll appreciate that.
So 3rd and long now for Hudson.
Swings it out, incomplete. Be 4th and 15 for Hudson.
Like
1:22 to go.
Nathan Judy, I believe the intended receiver.
And Hudson brings in a punt team.
So yeah, that's the thing. Penalties, Hudson unfortunately getting that penalty and stalling the momentum on that drive because they were having success against the Grizzly defense.
Yeah, they've had 2 really unfortunate holding penalties that have stalled drives. The first drive of the game was moving, and then they had the holding penalty as Cats, the last one deep.
Jack McNeil will fair catch it or be marked at the Grizzly 13-yard line where Bryson Hall will take over. And we haven't seen a lot of Bryson through the air in terms of quantity or quality, I guess. We've had a couple of long drop passes. Calix Lemp.
Yeah, a couple to Jalen King.
Yeah, a couple of Jalen King. Calix Lemp, he's had a couple of over-the-top throws that have fallen incomplete. You see number 7, Calix Lemp. Longest pass reception for a touchdown this year, 89 yards. And last week, almost topped it with an 85-yarder against Brecksville.
Probably take a knee here, just kind of take the clock out, don't make a mistake.
Oh no, Coach Todd's going to go for it. Nope.
He's got 5 receivers. That doesn't look like a kneel down and Hudson offside.
Yeah.
That's just an unfortunate penalty there. A couple things I need to mention. One, tomorrow open house for Hudson Community Television, 4:30 to 6:30 at our studio there on Hudson Aurora. And then don't forget the Hudson Parade of Bands tomorrow night. I think we mentioned that, but just put another plug in for that. Hudson with the full blitz. And he grounds it into the middle of the field, nobody around, to the 25.
Tyler Schmelzer probably within 10 yards of that on a crossing route, but, good job. Hudson bringing the pressure, knowing that Coach Todd's going to roll the dice and go for it here, even though with 1:12 left here in the second quarter. We'll see if Hudson brings the pressure again. Why not? Bring pressure like that, you can cause a turnover. Here's Judy on the blitz.
Hudson stops. He'll set up 3rd down. They could maybe use a timeout here, and they will. I do want to say one thing here before we go into the half. We recently lost a good friend of Hudson Community Television, as well as one of our main contributors with the Hudson Community Show, Frank Youngworth. Frank passed away at the end of August and had his memorial service, which you can watch on HCTV currently. Frank, a big pillar of the Hudson community, and we want to say Godspeed to Frank's and to his family. Just a wonderful individual. I had an opportunity to be on his show a few years ago, and so to Frank's family, we send our condolences, and as Frank was a heck of a person here in the community and for Hudson Community Television.
So coming out of the timeout, Mike, 3rd down and 2 for Wadsworth. The Grizzlies, I believe they have, how many timeouts they have left on the scoreboard there? 2. 2 timeouts.
Oh, so they took the timeout.
Yeah. So on the near side is Lemp on man coverage, but you got a safety over top in zone.
Rolls, throws it back. So I think he handed it off and was rolling, and that'll be 4th down. Hudson calls a timeout, so they actually save a timeout here thanks to Wadsworth.
Yeah, that's that counter play that worked very well earlier in the 2nd quarter, but Hudson defense doing a nice job of staying home and making the stop on Cooper Gray short of the yard to gain. Brings up 4th down and 2.
Well, you mentioned 2 of your players are commits to our military academies. Congratulations to them. That's quite an honor. Hudson already has one up there that they can run into, and that's Jake Clapper, big offensive lineman.
Yes.
So Northeast Ohio helping the Army Knights, I believe.
The Army
Golden
Knights, yeah.
Football squad. It's such a beautiful campus. I had the opportunity, I had a friend who was teaching up there, and we had the opportunity to go up there and visiting the campus many years ago, and it's a great view on the Hudson River there, and a lot of history, and just a great place to go to school and to serve our country. So we appreciate the service of these young men who choose to go to these military academies.
Well, here's a new look by the Grizzly offense. You see almost like it's the wishbone backfield. Now they'll switch it up. They're going to go full power. And they're going to try to
get them to
jump
go off
offside.
sides. They don't.
And good
they
discipline.
Call the timeout.
Good discipline by Hudson.
Yeah, Coach Goff, you see there with his back to us, reading that play and getting his defense to bolster and not jump at probably a very hard count, which we couldn't hear up here. But
appreciate Coach Goff's time. He gave me some time before the game, Mike, to come out and just have a conversation with him about Hudson football. Just a great guy, loves the community here. Understand he grew up here, played here.
He played here. He's a great linebacker for Hudson. I had him as a Kiwanis baseball and basketball player many, many years ago, and a great family as well. His dad, wonderful guy. Coached at Revere girls basketball for a number of years, as well as coaching in the community. So shout out to the Goff family.
Well, thank you, Coach Goff, for your time. And for the rare occasion, Mike, Wadsworth is in a full punt formation.
Yeah, with a big snap and everything. That's a short punt. Hudson a chance to bring it back and get some good field position. And they scramble it out. Palucci down to the 44. So Hudson, 47 seconds, 2 timeouts. Opportunity here to get some points on the board. Cats can make a field goal from 40. So they need to get down, probably down to the 30, 35 at the furthest part of Ian's leg. Ian 24 of 24 on extra points this year.
That's impressive.
Not sure if he's had a field goal opportunity. Hudson all their points have been scored on touchdowns this year.
That's an efficient offense.
Pinsky finds a receiver over the middle, picks up about 5. That's Palucci. They scramble to the line of scrimmage.
Wadsworth in a deep zone with that secondary.
Pinsky rolls. Lefty throws a little shovel.
Almost intercepted.
Incomplete. Yeah, that was bouncing around a little bit as number 5 Is that number 6? That's Castellarin.
Will Reese on the coverage for the Grizzlies, getting a hand in there.
25 seconds, 3rd down. Hudson still holding 2 timeouts.
I expect Wadsworth to drop back in zone. They are 4 deep.
Judy in motion. Trips at the high. Pinsky throws. It's, oh wow.
That might be offensive pass interference, though. We'll take another look at it if we can.
Yeah, but I think
there's
the
a
ball
lot
was
of contact.
Tipped. Ball was tipped.
Ball was
though.
tipped.
So
okay.
Any contact's live as Hudson runs up to the line of scrimmage quickly, trying to get a play off here. Yeah, he was hit. So everything is live at that stage, and a great catch by Palucci at the 20. They are in field goal range. Pinsky got hit a little bit. He's bent over. I don't know if that's from lack of oxygen or got banged up a little bit. 13 seconds. Hudson time for maybe 2 plays. Shot at the end zone here. They're still sitting on 2 timeouts. And we got a flag. It's probably going to be delay game. No, defensive offside. So Hudson will pick up 5 and make it first. It should be 1st down. I don't know why the thing says 2nd.
Yeah, that is a rare defensive mistake. The offside penalty by the Grizzlies. Mike's not something that this team does. But here in a critical situation, trying to keep Hudson out of the end zone here in the first half.
Pinsky over the middle. Rolling around, incomplete. Intended receiver was Judy. Should be 2nd down. Shouldn't it be 2nd down? I feel like Hudson, it should only be 2nd down, but
no,
I don't remember.
He killed it.
He killed one.
Yep,
okay,
yep.
I missed the kill.
Yep, he killed it. So 3rd
got
down.
Up there quickly,
yeah.
And they had 2 timeouts, so I wasn't sure why you would throw with a kill shot there with 8 seconds to go now. Remember, replay's brought to you by Fleet Response. And now we got another
coach. I believe
stoppage.
Justin Todd
Defense.
will call a timeout.
Yeah, Wadsworth. So Hudson's got 8 seconds. That's about 1.5 plays.
Well, there you see, Coach Todd, all these guys and all these coaches in the Suburban League, they all do their homework. Hudson comes out in a set, perhaps didn't look familiar to Coach Todd. He wants to call timeout and talk it over with his defense to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
Second half, we'll have obviously the action of the second half, but also we'll have some special guests, some of the Hall of Famers. We look forward to maybe catching up with 1 or 2 of them, and we might even have some highlights from their days here at Hudson High School. So stay tuned for that. At halftime, obviously the halftime extravaganza, the Hudson Swing Marching Band warming up for tomorrow night's Parade of Bands, as well as the Wadsworth Band. Do they have a repertoire we're going to hear tonight? Anything?
Oh, it's all good.
Going to be listening for?
It's all good. Yeah, we'll guess the we'll guess the songs, right? Probably throw back to the 80s or 90s.
Oh, I need them to go back another decade.
We got a field goal attempt.
Oh, so Hudson going to try to put some points on the board, and they get the ball back. So Ian Katz out here at the 21. It'll be a 31-yard attempt. It's up. Splits the uprights. Maybe we can see that new camera angle as well on that. On a replay here as Ian Katz puts Hudson on the board before the half, making it 21-3 with 0.3 seconds remaining. So Ian Katz, 21-yarder. See the replay of that. So 31 yards from the 21. It's good. On that Fleet Response.
Well, you like the decision to go for the field goal. You get points on the board. You go into halftime with some momentum. And Mike, as you had alluded to a few moments ago, you come out in the second half, you will get the football and an opportunity to close it on your initial drive of the third quarter to maybe 11 points.
Yeah, because you're going to need 3 touchdowns in the second half to win this game.
Yeah.
So
and you got to stop Wadsworth.
And you have to stop Wadsworth. So second half will be important to score on that first drive again. Even if it's 3, with the 2-point conversion, you can always pick that other point up later. But
right, because your possessions are extremely limited here.
Hudson sends it deep into the end zone. So Wadsworth will have 3 seconds to run a play. And then we'll go to halftime. We'll have a few words from our sponsors. And then the Wadsworth band and then the Hudson band. And then we'll come back with live second half action from Murdo Field at Hudson High School in Hudson, Ohio on the HCTV Game of the Week, presented to you by Gudis Group, Howard Hanna's #1 team in the Hudson office.
So we're just going to take a knee here.
Take the knee. We'll go to halftime. Hudson Community Television Game of the Week. Wadsworth leads 21-3 as we go to halftime on the Hudson Community Television Network. Remember, you can also download the HCTV app and watch it from your phone or other electronic device.
Now entering the field is the 2025-2026 Wadsworth Grizzly Marching Band. Leading the band down the field are drum majors Aaron Casey, Gracie Gale, and Becca Nichols. The band is directed by Dana Heyer and assisted by Scott Formhalls. The percussion instructor is Ryan Louie, and percussion arranger and tech is David Seltzer. Vanessa Lloyd and Jessica Corson are the color guard instructors. Originally recorded by Gloria Jones in 1964 and covered in 1981. Get ready to embrace the darker side of romance as the Wadsworth High School Marching Band presents our rendition of Soft Cell's iconic Tainted Love. Superstar Jennifer Lopez released this song as the lead single from her 2011 album Love. It features Pitbull. The song became a global success, topping charts in 37 countries. Prepare to dance away as we play On the Floor. Released in 1978, Copacabana, recorded by Barry Manilow, was inspired by a conversation at the Copacabana Hotel in Rio de Janeiro. The track was Manilow's first gold single for a song he wrote or co-wrote. Additionally, the song earned Manilow his first and only Grammy Award. Featuring senior color guard captains Kira Hutchinson and Callista Kuzmic, this is Copacabana. Wadsworth Grizzlies Marching Band.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hudson's High School is proud to present the Pride of Hudson, the 2025 Hudson High School.
President of Friends of WCTV. We're here with Alden Budis, who is our title underwriter for tonight's game. We want to take a little bit to get to know her.
Thank you
Welcome.
for having me.
Of course. Tell us a little about yourself.
So, Carlin Gudis is my name. I have the team, the Gudis Group with Howard Hanna. We're a team located here at the Hudson office at Howard Hanna. We've been in business a little over a decade as a team, about 4 years. We're the #1 team in the Hudson office, which is great. 3 years in a row. We are consisted of 4 agents along with myself, and what makes us a little different is we have a full-time staff. So when people go to buy or sell their homes, they're working not only with myself but our whole team, and you get a full staff Monday through Friday 8 to 5, which is just really great when you're selling or buying a home, so you can have kind of all of the most seamless transaction you can have.
Yeah, that's great. How did you choose Hudson?
So that's interesting. I actually grew up in the Gates Mills area. I am Greek as well, so I spent many years abroad living with my dad overseas, and I'm from kind of a small town in Greece, which reminds me very much of Hudson. So when I came back to relocate, my husband is from Akron. Schools were very, very important to us as we have 5 boys, and Hudson just felt like home. It just, a community where people know each other. It's a small-knit community, very close. Just a very trusting, homely place, and it just spoke to me. So
it's great. Yeah, it's a great place to live, great place to raise a family.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've been here over a decade and absolutely love it.
So you mentioned the Gudis Group of Howard Hanna. You guys are unique because you've got a full-time staff.
Right.
Maybe tell the viewers sort of what happens behind the scenes that maybe people don't understand that your group does.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. So there's always turbulence with every kind of transaction. I always say that buying or selling real estate is probably one of the most stressful things you can do in your life. Having the full-time staff is kind of just having the eyes and ears behind the scenes, if you will. So for example, if a buyer is purchasing a home, we have a gentleman who kind of makes sure that they are handing in their earnest money on time, making sure they're filling out their Form Lola application on time, helping the sellers kind of understand when it's important to turn over utilities and things of that nature. So we're just trying to make sure everything is nice and seamless.
Yeah, it's nice to have a realtor you can trust, you can depend on, and having that time during the day or evening that they can reach is I know from a person who's bought and sold a few houses with the help of realtors, it makes it very comfortable. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important for us, and that is actually why we have the staff as well, is, a lot of times people always say it's so hard to get a hold of a realtor. They don't answer their phone. That blows my mind. Like, we're in the people business. How are you not answering your phone? So we want to make sure that our clients can be, able to access people at all times, day or night. Obviously, we have our times for our families and whatnot, but we always try to make sure that people are accessible to who we have on staff.
So your group, you mentioned a lot of great things that you do, but how would you recommend somebody go about finding a realtor? I mean, I know you can look online, you can find reviews, but what are the qualities you look for in a realtor?
Gosh, that is such a good question. So, we all know, there's a million realtors. There's probably more realtors in this industry than any other real estate, than any other industry, but there's also that many realtors getting out of the business. I think it's so important when you're looking for a home. It's easy to kind of click on Zillow and contact a person's face who you see, which I understand, but make sure you're doing your due diligence. Make sure when you are choosing to meet with that person, are you asking them questions like, how long have you been in the business? What kind of value are you going to be able to provide to me as a buyer and or seller? How many homes do you buy or sell a year? There's a very big difference between somebody who works with buyers and somebody who works with sellers. My team and I sold about 85 units last year, and out of the listing side, I listed about 60 of those homes. So we're very strong on the listing side. So I think it's really important to make sure you're hiring the right agent who's going to be the best advocate for what you need in your business or for what you need with your home sale.
Yeah, that's great advice to find, and reading through everything online and everything, it's very difficult. So having those pointers are super helpful.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever in the position of being able to buy a second home or possibly looking to rent somewhere, is that something you guys help with?
Absolutely. So predominantly we do obviously work with people who are looking to purchase and sell, but we always are helping people with rentals, finding second homes, investment homes. All of our agents are focused everywhere, so we predominantly focus our business in Hudson and the surrounding areas, but we work as far north as Menor, as far south as Wadsworth, west side, so we kind of cover all areas.
So it's all of Northeast Ohio.
Yes, all of Northeast and Greater Cleveland, but we also want to just make sure that we're really focusing and honing in on our Hudson community.
That's great. Yeah, Hudson's a great place to be, and for all the viewers at home, whether you're rooting for Hudson Explorers or you're rooting for the away team, which we welcome you as viewers, please get in touch with Carlin and the Gudis Group and Howard Hanna. You guys work great in the community, and thank you for taking the time to be part of our game tonight and our TV coverage.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's so important, and as the #1 family-owned brokerage in the country, we are very good at what we do, so thank you so much for having me.
And what's the best way for everybody to reach you, just so we get on air?
So I am on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram, Carlin at the Gudis Group, also on Facebook. You can also email me or contact me directly with some other information I'm sure you can provide.
Great, great. And thank you, viewers. We'll send you back to the halftime show, and go Explorers,
Awesome.
right?
Thank you. Go Explorers.
Lay some track and keep those wheels a-rolling with the Doobie Brothers. Long train running. Mr. John Rodish, Mr. John Burrington, and Mr. Jacob Moore. The percussion instructor is Mr. David Schrenbeck, and the dance line instructor is Miss Erica Gillespie. The head senior squad leaders are Magnolia Dryden and Maya Kirchheit Abdallah. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for your Hudson High School Swing Marching Band.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome back for second half action on the Hudson Community Television Network as we bring you the Wadsworth Grizzlies and the Hudson High School Explorers from Murdo Field here in Hudson, Ohio. Getting ready for second half action. Let's do a quick recap as Wadsworth's up 21-3 here at the half on the HC Game of the Week presented by Goodis Group. Let's look at some fleet response highlights from the first half. As you see, Cooper Gray explode out for a 38-yard touchdown run, making it 7-0. And then almost carbon copy as you see Madigan take a big run for Gavin Madigan for Wadsworth, and then bring in the touchdown from 4 yards out to make it 14-0. And then we'll see another 5-yard run from Madigan. That was Gray on the previous run, and then Madigan for this touchdown. And then Hudson closed out the half with a 31-yard field goal from Ian Katz to make it 21-3. I'm Michael Rickman. I'm joined by Mike Elkins, who does TV for Wadsworth Community Television. Mike, tell us a little bit about that first half.
Well, I think Wadsworth was very successful between the tackles running the football, and I think we've seen two tails of the defenses here for Hudson. They've only allowed 64 passing yards of this Grizzly offense. That has been unseen this year. So they're taking the passing game away from Bryson Hall, but conversely, they've given up 193 yards on the ground to the Grizzlies.
So the Grizzlies kick off to Hudson to start the second half, and that's going to be Brennan Funyak who takes it and tiptoes his way out to the 25. And as we said, today is Hudson High School Athletic Hall of Fame weekend. And joining us in the booth is special guest star and new inductee, number 15, Ben Gideon. Yep. So Ben's joining us. Ben, Hudson High School Athletic Hall of Fame, how's that feel?
Feels great. It's fun to be back. Super fun to be back in town and be back with some of the inductees. Richie Piekarski I played football and basketball with, so it's super fun to be home.
Well, it's great to have you back, and you left Hudson with a lot of memories throughout your time, and we're going to, at a couple of the breaks here, we'll show a couple of your great highlights. What is the one thing that you remember most about your high school career, and then we'll talk about Michigan?
I'd say, some of the buddies that I played with. Certainly I got a couple actually down here at the game and that I've stayed in, close touch with throughout the years. So really just, having the opportunity to grow up with them, play high school, middle school ball with them, and now get to be lifelong friends.
So is there one particular play or couple plays that stick out that you wake up in the middle of the night and remember?
It's a good question. I feel like, maybe as a freshman, playing varsity football, when I was kind of thrown out there, that's when my eyes were the widest, and I was able to catch a couple balls as a tight end, which was super fun.
Now you were kind of a multi-purpose utility guy, right? You played linebacker, you played running back, you played tight end. Is that right?
That's right. Yep. Bounced around a little bit. Played a little offense, a little defense.
What was your favorite position of the three?
Running back's pretty fun. Running back is a lot of fun. Certainly not fast enough to play running back at the collegiate level or professionally, but had a ton of fun carrying the rock in high school, that's for sure.
Well, you can see your size. We've had a couple of booth shots from the Floridian Oasis booth camera, and you can see you're a big guy, so you were punishing guys, right? When you were running back, it was more about the blow you took to them than the blows you were receiving.
Hopefully, right? Hopefully. It's probably bigger in high school than I am right now. I'll say that.
Now, you then went on to Michigan, had a great career as a linebacker for Michigan, that school up north, they say down here.
That's right.
Some of your best memories of Michigan.
Yeah, ton of fun. I got to play for Coach Brady Hope for a couple years, and Jim Harbaugh came in during my junior year, and we had a couple fun years with him. Went up some hard losses as a Michigan Wolverine, but had a ton of fun as well.
How was Jim Harbaugh as a coach? I have some great Jim Harbaugh stories. Sometimes
right.
you and I will
there's
get
so
together.
Many of them. Yeah, endless.
Endless. But what was he like as a head coach?
He's I say he's a master of culture change, and we certainly needed a culture change, and super fiery guy. He is what you see on TV. That's him, his genuine self. He doesn't put up a front, and it's, you have a ton of confidence when you're playing for a guy like that.
So 2nd and 10 for Hudson. They got their first down, and now running a little sweep action, and
yeah, that's
Palucci just got labeled.
Yeah, on the stop there for the Grizzlies, Jude Holler, the sophomore, coming up from that safety spot, laying the wood.
Also want to say Ed Sogan is up here in the booth, who brought you up here in a long time, Hudson Athletics Department. He used to do this job way back yonder, so thanks to Ed up here in the booth as well.
Yeah, I've had a ton of fun talking to Ed. He's an encyclopedia of Hudson athletic knowledge, so it's fun hanging out up here with him and hearing some old stories.
So the penalties decline. It's 3rd and 11 for Hudson here at the 34. Really need to desperately get a first down here and keep this drive going, get some points on this first possession of the second half. Mike, do you have a question for Ben? Or
Ben, we got a lot of all-conference guys here on the field tonight. I was talking with Mike earlier. 14 all-conference guys in this football game.
There we go.
Palucci with breaks a run for the largest gain on a play for the Explorers tonight, and a lot of guys going to the next level. If you got the guy going to the next level, what advice would you give them going from high school to the college level?
I think, for me and the guys that took a big step, you sort of have to maximize your potential athletically, and that means perfect on scheme, perfect on technique, great effort. And even if there is an athletic gap when you go on to the next level, you can be an incredible contributor if you do those things right and really take to the coaching.
1st down and 10 now for Hudson.
Play action, Lipinski stuffed back in the backfield. Yeah, great play there.
That's Gavin Madigan again, the Army. Gavin Madigan, free safety for the Grizzlies, on his way to West Point. For Army.
Right.
Yes.
That's great.
So, Ben, you then moved on to the Minnesota Vikings. I'm a Bears fan, so I won't hold that against you. Yeah, and well, Jim Harbaugh was a play for the Bears for many years. When I talk about baseball and the swing difference, the speed difference in the swing, that's one of the biggest differentiators that I find between major league level baseball and lower levels. What is there one defining thing in football that in the NFL between college and NFL that you found right away that first training camp?
Yeah, I think it's the speed. You certainly can't be a step too late. Getting used to this microphone here. And I think, it's interesting. They don't do full kickoffs anymore, but I think the kickoff play in the NFL was one that just embodied how intense of competition and how minimal the margin of an error is. You feel the footsteps, you hear the pads crack, and that's where guys, at least for me, that was where I made a lot of my plays, and that's how you make a roster. And I think it's like an embodiment of just the cutthroat nature of ball at that level.
Full blitz on here by Wadsworth, and they get to Lipinski, a big loss, and that was on 3rd and long.
Jacob Ernest, the Defensive Player of the Year for the Grizzlies on the sack. Also, like Jalen King, maybe Dawson Mendel also went on the stop.
Yeah, just again, Wadsworth able to tee off. That was maybe one of those favorite things maybe when you play defense, just being able to tee off on a quarterback.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully, yeah. You get some help from the D-line, you're a free runner. There's nothing better than that.
Well, Cat's demonstrating tonight. He's got a lot of overspin, getting that ball to roll an extra 10 yards or so. So Wadsworth will come out here. 6:15 to go here in the 3rd quarter. We're with Ben Gideon, Hudson Athletic Hall of Famer, as well as former NFL player. Now, did you talk to some of the former guys from Hudson before you went to the NFL, just to kind of get their sense of it, like Bill Nagy and Brian Winter and some of those guys?
Yeah. Always looked up to those guys, and my older brothers, played with them. And I grew up, was actually a ball boy, 6th, 7th grade, and those guys were out on the field. So it's fun. You go through the program and you have guys you look up to and you kind of emulate them. And so I think I saw Winters down there in the field today. But
was Brian here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to maybe have a resource available to you when you're going up to that kind of level. It's like having a lawyer mentor or an accounting mentor.
Absolutely.
It's a very limited club, right? That you're joining.
No question. Yep.
What's your best Big Ten memory?
Best Big Ten memory?
Yeah.
That's a good question. So we beat. I would say there's a couple stadiums that just like immediately stick out to me, but Happy Valley and Penn State has got to be one of my favorite stadiums to play in. I think we had one whiteout that we played there.
Yeah.
We didn't win, but like the experience itself was pretty incredible.
I used to coach over at Nordonia with Ray Caroscia. He was a running back for Kent State, and he talked about going down to Florida State, and just the experience as a player is one thing to be a fan in the stadium. It's another to be a player in that environment.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. The adrenaline just starts pumping.
Yeah, and I think it's different too at the college level because the pageantry and the sort of the tradition around some of these collegiate environments are just absolutely incredible.
So 4th and 1 now for Wadsworth at their 31. Hudson really needs to get this stop, get some field position back, and try to shift the momentum and stop Wadsworth, and they're going to punt again out of that play formation. Palucci catches it at the 35, and he's going to bring it out to the 43. So Hudson gets some good field position out of that. Ben, always want to ask a Vikings player this. Have you ever, they got the big horn. Yeah. Did you ever go out there and just, play a few tunes?
I really wish I had, and maybe I'm now back actually in Minnesota, so might have to break into the stadium on an off day and try out that Gallahorn.
They should have like one of the players come out and do like the skull blast from one of the retired players, right?
I know it's a cool. The skull chant is also a pretty neat little tradition. That stadium they did a pretty incredible job on up there in Minneapolis.
So Hudson come out here 1st and 10, chance to get back in this ball game. 21-3 here in the second half. Was this the first time that Grayson Hall played a third quarter snap?
Cooper Gray.
Now
they played third quarter snap last week, and then late in the third quarter it went into the running clock, and then the starters came out. But what was interesting, you knew that, not that you knew, but it was a pretty good indication that Wadsworth was going to punt on that 4th down. The tank, Thunder, left the field, and Cooper Gray came in.
So Horner, with maybe his first carry of the game, he picks up 6 or 7. Some have called him Mini Gideon. Christopher Horner. So what do you think about that? And have you seen much of his play here the last few weeks?
Well, no, but it's been great to watch him today. I love it. He's probably better than I was. I love the.
And
I love the nickname though.
He's a Harvard lacrosse commit, right?
Oh, is that what's
or a recruit or something
right?
like that?
Good for him.
So
I know that you got a great lacrosse program here as well.
Oh boy, Nathan Judy is down.
I did not. No.
Unfortunately,
this is not
Nathan
good
Judy
for
is
Hudson.
down, and we hope the senior linebacker is going to be okay. Nathan Judy.
Yeah, Nathan's taken a lot of snaps tonight.
Yeah, he plays both sides of the ball, tight end, H-back, linebacker for the Explorers, and good to see him up on his feet. I mean, Wadsworth defensively, they're bringing it to the Explorers. They're winning the game of physicality. 11 helmets flying to the football. 21-3, the Grizzlies lead it. And it looks like Nathan is walking a little bit better as he gets towards the sideline.
Let's go to a Gideon highlight here. So let's see what this first one is. These are surprise from the booth downstairs.
Wow.
So
this is throwback.
This is it's like almost in black and white here.
Yeah. Oh, it's a little pass play here.
There you go.
And look at you rumbling down the field. Look at that speed.
Canton Glen Oak.
Yeah, I think this is Glen Oak.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the Glen Oak game. So we went back to that playoff game, and look at that move.
Oh, there you go.
Cut and the go. You were an upright runner, right?
Yes, which probably took more punishment that way.
And this is the Mud Bowl.
Look at that, Lavelli.
All that old Lavelli, in the mud. And Hudson gets the first down. We broke away a little bit for some highlights there, but Yeah, what was it like playing? Did you play here?
Yeah, so my senior year, that would have been 2012, was the first year of this new stadium. So I did 3 years in the Valley, which was fun. A lot of mud bowls.
Yeah, I would bet.
Well, there was that famous Stowe game when Hudson went undefeated in 01, I think it was.
Yep.
And that was just a disaster. The cameras started breaking down. The mud was flying everywhere. But yeah, the old Lavelli, and this is from Mike Elkins from Wadsworth, who's in the booth. We had, a crack in the glass and taped, and it wasn't like this press box is first rate. So we thank the boosters.
I feel up here.
There's air conditioning and there's heat for when it turns cold. But yeah, this has been a first class booth up here, so we appreciate it. And we really appreciate you, Ben, coming up here and talking to us and get you ready to do some color commentary.
That's right. Yeah, thanks for having me. I really do appreciate it. It's fun.
But any other memories or things you want to share? What are you doing now? Or do you have anything to plug or promote?
Yeah, plug. Yeah. I'm up in Minneapolis. Me and a partner are looking for a small business to buy. So maybe I'll plug that if there's any business owners out there tonight.
I got to ask you, who's your pick this weekend? Browns and Vikings in London.
Oh, right.
Oh,
I don't know, right?
I'm
a neutral. I'm a neutral party in this. It's a win-win situation.
Fan?
Grew up a Browns fan,
Okay.
Cleveland sports fan. So, win-win for me.
Yeah, I guess. Jeff Kurtz, the PA guy, just showed me a picture of you and he back in 2017 in London.
In London, yeah.
So you played a game in London?
We played the Browns in London.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why it's always,
Browns,
Browns, Vikings in London. But yeah, Jeff was at that one. Saw him in the locker room. It's fun. Those games, everyone just wears random NFL jerseys.
Lipinski. Oh, little comeback there by Castellarin. Castellarin almost able to come back and get that. What is the experience, since it is London weekend and people will be tuning in 9 o'clock on Sunday morning for the Browns? I'm not sure I would want to get up to watch the Browns play, but that, me and Lima are that way. But what was it like to play in London? What are some of those memories from that London experience?
Yeah, it's a really, really neat experience. What I remember is going to the stadium and you see, I'm not kidding, jerseys from all 32 NFL teams because they're just football fans. They don't necessarily have an affinity for a certain team. So people are just as big of football fans.
Now, I think nice catch there by Castellarin, and Hudson gets the first down. A good drive here. Maybe you're bringing good luck. We'll just keep talking to you until they score a touchdown.
Yeah, it was a great play there.
I was in Munich during the Super Bowl this year, and explaining the American game to the Germans. What is it? Is it the same kind of situation in the UK? Do they understand the game? Do they really feel the nuance of it, or is it just a bunch of guys hitting each other?
It's probably a bit of both. Hopefully in the last few years, I think there's been more international. games.
Nice play to Judy. And maybe a hold over there in that vicinity.
Yeah, Gavin Madigan on the stop, and a nice job by Ryan Stoops and Gavin Madigan. Jacob Ernest stringing that play out.
That's the Army.
Yeah, number 2.
There.
Yeah, we've been calling his number quite a bit tonight.
Good player.
Yeah, he'll join Hudson's Jake Clapper up there, right?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Offensive lineman, graduated last year.
Strong Hudson to Service Academy pipeline.
A lot to the Coast Guard Academy. You had Josh way back in the 90s who played baseball up there. And I think
Josh.
Fundamentals taught here translate well to moving right into to one of those academies.
That's for sure.
1st and 20 now for this Florida offense.
But so we were talking about London and the fans understanding what's going on. I always said that, when somebody says, well, why don't you watch soccer? I said, well, if they allowed them to throw the ball and maybe hit each other, it would be a better sport. Are the people that watch American-style football in London, is that kind of where they're at? They like the more intensity to it instead of guys flopping around?
I think that's it. It's the smashing, it's the violence that they're fans of, not necessarily the tactics or the scheme.
So Hudson back out here first and a long way. And just a straight keeper by Horner. Horner finds a gap, and there's the speed that we've heard about. And he gets it down to the original line of scrimmage. It'd be 2nd and 10. Let's take another look at that as Horner just kind of takes it and goes straight out this way and then cuts it back up in.
Yeah, nice job by Horner, just letting those blocks set up, finds the opening, puts his shoulders square to the field, and gets a good gain. 2nd and 9 now, 2nd and manageable for the Explorers.
So 32 seconds left. As we said, any other thing you want to share with us before we let you go here, Ben? Because we really appreciate you staying for the whole 3rd quarter and adding your insight.
No, I appreciate you guys. It's fun to be back and see kind of what goes into putting a game like this together and what goes to putting into season. I'm just thankful that I had the opportunity to live in Hudson and grow up in Hudson and go through the athletic programs here, because there's a lot of great people behind the scenes that are, doing a lot for these kids. So,
well, we appreciate very much you, Ben, and you downloaded the HCTV app, hopefully, and you watch it on Friday night.
There's
so
no question.
Check in next Friday night. We'll be back on.
I will.
So
I will. Thanks for having me,
as we come
guys.
out of the 3rd quarter here, Hudson driving. They've got 12 minutes to get 3 scores. They down 21-3 here on the HCTV Game of the Week.
You're watching the Hudson Community Television Goodest Group at Howard Hanna Game of the Week, brought to you by these fine sponsors.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome back for 4th quarter action here as Hudson tries to get into this game. They're driving down 21-3 as we start 4th quarter action. Important series of downs here. We had Ben Gideon for this quarter, and we appreciate Ben joining us and giving his insight on his illustrious career, both high school, college, and the pros. The HCTV Game of the Week is presented by Goodest Group, Howard Hanna's #1 team in the Hudson office, and we appreciate their sponsorship. If you want to sponsor, call the HCTV offices during the week, and remember to download that HCTV app. I'm Michael Rickman, joined by Mike Elkins from Wadsworth Community Television, and Mike, I didn't give you a lot of words in that 3rd quarter, but what words do you have here as Hudson at the 22 driving against Wadsworth? You haven't been this late in a game maybe with this close a score, huh?
No, we haven't. Usually at this point in the ball game, Wadsworth is in a running clock, but you've got to give credit to the Explorers. They've controlled the clock, the time of possession here in the 3rd quarter. Unfortunately, they've not been able to score. Wadsworth, coming into tonight's game, have outscored their opponents in the 3rd quarter 61-0, and that will hold here even tonight as we go into the 4th quarter. But boy, Hudson really needs to put the ball in the end zone now.
Well, and they've got to do it here on it's 4th down and 3 as Hudson with number 10 at quarterback, and that's Kyler Boyle.
Yeah, you got to
Is
wonder.
that a 10? Yeah, I think that's a 10. It's got Pari in the background. Boyle.
That is Boyle.
I think it still looks like Lipinski throws the ball. It's up in the air. Oh, ping-ponged around and falls to the ground, and Hudson will turn it over on downs.
Now the Wadsworth defense bends but does not break against the Explorers here. And if Hudson needed a 4th down conversion, that was it. We've got a Grizzly down. That's number 1, Grady Hughes. He's back on his feet. Grady Hughes making his debut as a starter last week. 4 pass breakups. Ended up getting player of the week, I believe. We'll take a look at that. But Grady Hughes with a tremendous football game last week against Brecksville. So Hudson did a great job in the 1st half, limiting Bryson Hall's ability to throw the football to only 64 yards, but gave up 193 on the ground.
Yeah, but Hudson 0-0 that third quarter, so you got to build on that. But you're running out of time now, as you've probably settled down. And Wadsworth going to pound the ball on the ground and take some clock off, I'm guessing.
Yeah, why not, Mike? As we talked at halftime, running between the tackles seemed to work very efficiently and effectively for the Wadsworth offense. Heavy run offense for Wadsworth tonight.
So Cooper Gray picks up a few, and it's second down and about 5, it looks like, from here. And then under pressure again. Fumble. Nope. I thought the ball popped out, but good job of hanging on there is Bryson Hall, who's had a very efficient game. Not been relied on to throw the ball, but running the offense very smoothly, and the first down for.
Yeah, in the first half, Bryson Hall only 6 of 13 for 64 yards. And it's that defensive pressure that Hudson was very successful in the first half, bringing the blitz package and not allowing Bryson to get into his rhythm. We got an injured Explorer on the field. Physical football game here tonight, and it's what we expected between these two Suburban League programs, the elite of the Suburban League. Grizzlies coming in tonight at 6-0 on the season. Hudson at 5-1, undefeated as the Explorers in the conference.
Yeah, Louis Castilleran coming off on his own power. We talked about this earlier in the game. The temperature here in Northeast Ohio, unseasonably warm, right? 78 degrees earlier in the day, 70-ish to start this game. I think you're starting to see the impact of how quick the plays are called. You said about 80 plays a game. Wadsworth likes to call Hudson 13 seconds a play. I think that you're starting to see some cramping up, and we talked about it early in the season. Usually that couple of August games you really talk about because it's 85 and sunny, and you've been working out all week. I think both teams you're going to watch for some of that fatigue here in the fourth quarter. And Hudson, 1st and 10, they need the defensive stop and maybe a turnover. And there's a bomb. Lamp almost came up with that one, but a good job again by Hudson's defense and Gavin Hitchcock. You talk about a ball-hawking secondary. They really need to come up with one if Wadsworth is going to air it out here.
Yeah, Calix Lemp had his man beat here on the near sideline. Ball was slightly underthrown. Again, Calix with incredible speed. Judy showing blitz.
Handoff. Stopped after a gain of about 8. It's going to set up 3rd and 3, and Hudson in one of those critical defensive possessions and critical defensive plays here. 3rd and 2.
Great job on the offensive line of Wadsworth picking up the Nathan Judy blitz, and then Cooper Gray bouncing it off the left edge for a big gain.
Quick handoff up the middle, cuts through that first seam, and he's going to go a long way. Just bowls over.
They're going to mark him out of bounds. I don't know if he stepped out of bounds. They're going to mark him out at the 10.
Yeah,
Mike, it'll be first and 10.
I think when he ran over the player, he kind of stumbled for a couple steps, and those were the ones that got out. But he gets through this first seam here, and once he does that, he's just got a free rein, and Hudson's number 10, Kyle Boyle, tried to catch him, and then Gavin Hitchcock gave him a bump or a run over, and I guess we quickly gone to the next play. If we can show that previous play again so we can see where he went out, but carry for a couple yards, and they'll set up 2nd and goal with a flag on the play. But you see him get through.
We'll see right. Jump out.
Yep. Step back there. Yep.
So it's going to be 1st and goal now for the Grizzlies. Ball inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, penalty on Hudson. You see Gavin try to get some air now. Good play. There's Brennan Faniak. We haven't seen much of that from behind, capturing the running back that Brennan does so well. That's maybe the first time on a run blitz he's had that opportunity.
Yeah, and he knifed right through the offensive line, making a great play. Colton Levitt is down for the Grizzlies at the 3-yard line. And we hope Colton, that tight end for the Grizzlies, sort of like that unsung hero of the offense, does a great job blocking, run blocking, pass blocking. Wadsworth not big on using tight ends in the passing scheme. But in week number 1 against Barberton, Colton Levitt on his very first touchdown reception. As a Grizzly, we'll take another look at this. For a second there, I had to go back to my John Bernard directing. I'm like, no, I'm not in Wadsworth. I see the replay come up, like present itself on the screen. I'm like, wait. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the telestrator replay.
I guess
this is what's on live.
A lot of fun talking to Ben Gideon, talking about his days here at Hudson, at Michigan. I was curious what stadium was one that really stuck out in his mind as a favorite. I didn't think he was going to say the Horseshoe. Not friendly confines there for sure, but yeah, Penn State, that would be kind of cool to compete at Happy Valley in a whiteout.
Yeah, one of those whiteouts would definitely be like last week. What a great game that was. Colton Levitt coming off. I think he had a little cramping. It was lower extremity, but they were working kind of down lower on the calf area. Big plays for Hudson here. They really can't break. Got to continue to bend on this drive. Try to hold them to a field goal at a minimum.
So Dawson Mandel checks in for Colton Levitt. Looks like Thunder is in the backfield.
They got what, Illinois package maybe?
Yeah, Jacob Ernest. This is a power set for the Grizzly offense.
I'm not sure why it's called Illinois, but it seems to be that way throughout many of the teams here in Northeast Ohio. I don't think of Illinois as an offensive team or a big, strong power formations. And right up the middle. And he's going to push a little bit there towards the end as Madigan tries to get into the end zone. Set up 3rd and goal from about the 1.5.
Yeah, they'll go to the same formation or probably run behind Jordan Jones on the left side, Aiden Mysterix. It's exactly what they do.
The middle, Hudson misses the try to get him from behind as Funyak tried to get the run blitz, and Madigan picks up his second touchdown of the game. And that one probably hurts the most, as you had a chance down there. You were 4th and about 3 or 4 with a chance to get a first down and a touchdown. Wadsworth goes the other way, and just power football, and Wadsworth has established themselves as an excellent power football team here, and that gets you pretty far in the playoffs. As the extra point is good, making it 28-3.
Yeah, so now Cooper Gray, Gavin Madigan, both over 100 yards rushing on the evening. The Grizzlies well over 200 yards rushing on the ground, which the Grizzlies have averaged just over 200 yards on the ground this year, Mike, but this has been a dominant performance on the ground.
Yeah, this
has not been a balanced
offense.
Not
given up a touchdown in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So, in fact, Hudson's given up 50 points for the season. They've given 28 up this evening, and that one was hard earned. I think all of the touchdowns tonight, they've been sustained drives and just helmet on helmet. We talked about a rumble as one of the 3 R's tonight, and it has been. Hudson just unable to kind of get over the hill. Wadsworth defense only giving up 3 points, and you've not given up many all year. So,
no, not. You know, Mike, you may raise a good point, because this starting defense typically is not on the field but for one series in the 3rd quarter, coming out of the locker room. So this is the longest this starting defense has played on the field the entire season.
It's not much of a moral victory, but, you know, Hudson can, if they had to face again, you know, it'd be well down in the playoffs, but at least now you know what it looks like, right? Until you see the speed, until you see the strength. And I think that's one of the things that Ben's talking about. Until you feel that violence of that's going to be a touchback as his feet got into the end zone. Brendan Funyak bringing it back. But until you feel that violence of the NFL, you don't really know what that NFL is like, right?
Yeah, you're right. And talking with Coach Jason Black of Brecksville last week, I asked him, when you look at Wadsworth, what's the challenge that they bring you? And he goes, look, I'm going to be honest with you. He said, I can't replicate their power and their speed in our practice. And that's a common theme. And talking with Coach Goff, I asked the same question, and his response was October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. And I said, I don't understand. He said, their off-season, the Wadsworth Grizzly off-season program is much like that of a college program. These kids are in the weight room at the end of the season, and they're working all year long.
So Boyle tries to find Hitchcock, and it goes through his fingers.
Having Madigan on the coverage for the Grizzlies again.
8:23 to go.
And these kids do, the majority of these Grizzlies are in the weight room sometimes at 5:30 in the morning, even in the summer, getting their work in. And Coach Todd talks about elite preparation, and that was the theme this week against the Explorers, knowing this is a very good football team, and it is a very good football team. And he talks about elite preparation. So it is 2nd down and 10 now for the Explorers with 8:23 left in this one.
So Lipinski back in. He took some pretty hard hits in the 3rd quarter. So Hudson had Boyle in there now. Lipinski play action, gonna go yard. He's got Castellaren, he's got him. Can he outrun the defender? Touchdown Hudson. Hayden Lipinski finds Castellaren, and that's the touchdown. So Hudson 28-9 right now.
Yeah,
spark of life.
Yeah, Mike, they've went to that play a couple of times, have been unsuccessful. Tommy Hahn previously on those plays with pretty good coverage, but number 6, Louis Castellaren, breaks free for an Explorer touchdown. PAT would close it to 18.
Cats blasted through. So Hudson on the bomb. 65 yards roughly.
That is the longest pass play given up by this Grizzly defense this season.
And we're going to make this the play of the game. Not sure we have a sponsor for that. If you'd like to be the sponsor for that, call HCTV this week. But the play of the game is going to be this Lipinski, roughly 65-yard bomb, about 50 of it in the air to Louis Castellaren. And he shows his speed, and Hudson gets on the board.
Yeah, he shows his speed, and he's got that right leg. If you saw that wrap on his right leg. Good play for the Hudson Explorers. 8:12 left in this one.
That's 25 in a row for Katz this year on the extra points. He's 25 for 25.
See that wrap on number 6's right leg, Castellanero. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Castellaren, but
Castellaren.
It's okay. I've not had it real well tonight either. But that's that 4 weeks off since the last broadcast. You get them in your head, and then you come back and you try to remember it. So Hudson probably going to do an onside kick here. Katz has great foot control. And speaking of Ian Katz, so far he is our Hudson player of the game. He had that big field goal, and his punting in the first half slowed Wadsworth down, and so sometimes special teams. Oh, it's sitting on the floor. It's got to go 10.
It's got to go.
Now it's
10.
on the ground.
I think Wadsworth might have jumped on it. Yeah, that was a nice effort.
I'm not sure why Wadsworth didn't go diving on it before it got to the 50.
You are correct, Mike. I was wondering the same thing. Why wait for it to roll 10? You don't have to as the receiving team.
Yeah, Hudson just waiting for it to get to the 50, but we'll take another look at this. And you see you can't cross that line. You can't get the football till it crosses the 50. Brennan was right there, and then it kind of right here it gets picked up. Good job by Wadsworth to jump on that, and that would have been a huge play for Hudson right there. So 28-10 with 8:11 to go. Still time, just need to get the ball back.
Yeah, Mike, for this Wadsworth offense, it's the first time this season they've had to play 4 quarters.
That's remarkable being in week 7.
Week 7,
right?
yes.
Hudson with the blitz, that's Funyak. Oh, he got him. Hudson fired up. There's that momentum shift a little bit. The question's going to be whether there's enough time.
Yeah, he's so quick off the edge. He gets around, beats the offensive line, and Bryson Hall, not much time to make a decision to get rid of the football, tuck and a run, but Funyak's so quick, able to get the sack for the Explorers. Loss of 2 on the play.
Quick handoff is stuffed. So it'll be 3rd and 10.
This Hudson defense coming to life now.
And one of the things about the hurry-up offense is right now, you're used to running your tempo, your rhythm is all set on quick, quick, quick. And if you keep that up and with a lead, and it starts to get a tighter lead, like this is right now, you're giving the ball back quickly. So now you slow down, maybe to let the clock run here because it's running plays, it runs. But now you get a little bit out of rhythm. You slow yourself down, and the other team is now doing the tempo.
Wadsworth looked a little disorganized, getting set.
They're going to run the play clock.
They're going to run it all the way down and call
timeout. They took the timeout. Yeah, that'll be their first.
Looked to be a little confused and where they should be lining up. So Coach Todd is going to talk about it with 6:53 now remaining.
Yeah, the play clock they used to have them down in the corners, but I don't see them down there anymore. So I think you just have to have it in your head. But if we can see that field goal again, Ian Katz, our player of the game. If you want to sponsor the player of the game, you can also do that. And it's the Hudson player of the game. Mike might have his own sponsorships and players of the games that he has to have for Wadsworth. I think your problem is you got so many guys, Madigan or Gray, probably each over 100 yards, right?
Yeah, both are over 100 yards. And then, offensively it's Madigan and Gray. Defensively, Jacob Ernest and Gavin Madigan on the defensive side of the ball. And Nathan Shipley is having a great game. Colton Levitt on the edge. And they've really done a nice job of containing Hudson's ability to get out to the edge and turn the ball upfield, which in previous seasons, previous contests, Hudson been very successful with that stretch play. So Wadsworth been able to shut that down tonight. Again, the only touchdown, the 65-yard bomb.
So 3rd and 10, big play here. Hudson gets the stop. They stand up Madigan, and they get the stop on 3rd down. So 4th and 11. Hudson with 3 timeouts, 6:40 to go. Need the ball back.
Madigan running behind Carter Raymond and Gavin Britton on that right side, and another timeout. And will Coach Justin Todd go for it here?
So as we said, tonight's player of the game for Hudson is Ian Katz, and we're going to show you a couple of reasons why he did that. The Olympic Awards player of the game, Ian Katz. Big field goal just before the half gave Hudson some momentum going into the locker room. You see it really nice from the Malzahn Center, Athletic Center. And a reverse angle, wow. Bringing out all the technology tonight. We want to thank our outstanding crew, the best video crew in Northeast Ohio, led by our director, Chris.
Yeah, well, we've got a timeout. Mike, thank you very much. I appreciate the invitation to come up to Hudson to be part of this broadcast, to bring this game to the viewers of HCTV and our family and friends and fans down in Wadsworth, and family and friends all across the country now.
Well, world.
With social media, yes.
We get people who text in that they're watching in, I don't know, Bangladesh or somewhere. And Hudson trying to block the punt. And that's going to go take a big hop. Check up at about the 12. So Hudson's got 88 yards to go on this drive to try to narrow the gap. But yeah, no, we appreciate the WCTV community coming out here tonight and participate in our broadcast. And it's good to, you guys were kind of the inspiration for HCTV when you guys started. And so we have a long history of cooperation, and we appreciate it. There's some of the young Hudson players, probably middle school there, out here. And Hudson, probably like Wadsworth, does a great job of bringing the youth onto the field. They can see the game up close and feel like they're participating in it. And there's Coach Jason Todd. What an excellent coach he's been for you guys, and another outstanding year. You guys had a good year last year and got pretty far along in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, there's a team up around Lake Erie, I think the Avon, right? Yeah, Avon. Yeah, we're familiar with them. A really good program up in Avon. The Eagles, defending state champions, Division II.
So Lipinski throws it out of bounds. It'll go to second down.
But no, John Bernard at WCTV does a great job. I will say I'm going to challenge John on the air. John, I came to Hudson. They've got the spread. I got to tell you, they got great food.
Yeah. Oh, the pizza tonight. Di Cecco's, a new place here in Hudson. That pizza was outstanding.
It was great. Yes, loved it.
They even left me a couple pieces. Usually I get here and it's all been devoured. But thank you to Di Cecco's tonight as Lipinski gets sacked at the 5. And that's Levitt.
That's Colton Levitt. Yeah, good to see him in on the stop. Number 50 also there. That's Jaden Gross.
Yeah, he's had a big game too, number 50.
Oh, Jaden Gross has played tough at the nose tonight for the Grizzlies. Just, again, that physical front 3.
And he looks like a nose tackle. No offense.
He's played well.
That's a compliment, Jaden, when you're watching this.
3rd and long now for Hudson.
Rolls. Caught. Close to the first down. It's going to be 4th and a couple, and pretty much you got to go for it here.
Brandon DeShazi on the tackle.
And that was Horner. So we've seen some late glimpses of Horner. What a catch by him.
Yeah, and I think you've got to tip your hat then to the Wadsworth defense. They have kept Horner and Nathan Judy silent much of the evening.
Yeah, and a nickname somebody gave him and sent me is Mini Gideon. So.
Well, he certainly showed that earlier in the quarter on that burst off the right side. Earlier in the 3rd quarter. Bobble snap.
Throws it out to Horner, incomplete, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. Another good job by the Wadsworth defense to put the pressure on Hudson.
Yeah, Stoops coming in from the linebacker position on the blitz, and Wadsworth will take over on downs.
I give credit to my partner for that nickname, also Midian. We've heard him as Midian. So we talked to Ben a little bit about that, and that's quite a compliment when you get a younger player who's nicknamed after the Hudson Athletic Hall of Famer. So you can also watch this game on the Rock Entertainment and Sports Network tomorrow night at 10 p.m. 10 p.m. on the Rock. We appreciate that partnership as well. I also understand we were also live on WAOH, which you can find on Roku and YouTube. They also have an X account, and they are shown around the Akron area, and it's a fairly new station, more of a internet-based stream-type station. And welcome to the Northeast Ohio community, and they're showing our game and this broadcast live around area establishments.
Well, yeah, 2 good football programs here tonight. A lot of eyes on this game. Suburban League championship on the line for both programs. 3rd down and 3 now for this Grizzly offense.
So handoff. Gets the first down. It's going to be 1st and goal with 4:57 to go here.
Yeah, Gavin just running off the left side behind big Jordan Jones and Aiden Mysterix.
Tries to sidestep his way to the end zone. He's not able to get there. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 1. And there's Ken Klemensick, he a Hall of Famer now. Does the sports photography for Hudson Athletics, and he's everywhere in every event. And Ken's just the nicest guy. And he has an X account that you can go to and check out his work and some just fantastic photography after every game. And Hudson, oh, nice play. And that's Funyak again.
I guess if you had to give a defensive player of the game to the Explorers, it's that young man right there, number 26, Funyak. Again, just knifing through that offensive line, making a tackle for loss.
Yeah, his energy, he's the Energizer Bunny for this defense, and he's everywhere. And he makes a great play on Cooper Gray there.
So 3rd and goal now for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, and they lost a couple, so they're now pushed back to the 5 on this 3rd and goal.
Now I would imagine that if they cannot convert here, that Lazzaretti would come on for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, it's good to try them, right? I mean, this is the time of year to try to get, because later on you don't want his first one to be in the.
There's Calix Lamp with a touchdown.
Calix Lamp gets it on the board tonight. Nice little right side play for Bryson Hall, so he'll get a touchdown pass tonight to go with the 4 rushing touchdowns that Wadsworth has.
So Calix with his 9th touchdown reception on the season. Lazzaretti on for the PAT, Schmelzer to hold. And this one will be up and through the uprights for a 35-10 lead with 3:34 remaining here at Murdo Field. We're at Hudson's Memorial Stadium. Grizzlies look to move to 7-0 on the season. The Explorers would fall to 5-2.
Yeah, Hudson will be back here at home next week.
Right, nice footwork there by Calix Lemp, just getting the foot inside the boundary.
We'll have Brecksville before a big meetup with Nordonia the following week, also at home. And we'll have some guests from the Nordonia area, the Macedonia TV. Forget what they're called up there. And then Hudson finishes out the season at North Royalton on the 24th, and then likely to finish in the top 8, maybe get a home field game at least the first week.
Yeah, for the Wadsworth viewers, the Grizzlies will be on the road next week at Nordonia at Bulliant Stadium. The following week, they will be home. They'll take on the Stowe Monroe Falls Bulldogs and then end the season on the road against the Comets at Solon.
Yeah, so Nordonia is seen on Community Focus TV up there. I've been in their studio, I think, 1 or 2 times over the course of being up here, and they'll be here joining us, and a great group of guys and women that work for Community Focus. And this is Funyak. He gets to the outside. He's got a gap, cuts it back, works his way around, and gets all the way out to the 42. So Hudson showing some good kickoff returns. This part of the ball game for Wadsworth, it's now in hand, but there's some things you want to work on, right? You don't want to see a 42-yard kickoff return suddenly. Right. You know, and you want to be working on the fine points, because when you get to the playoffs, and we say this about Hudson too, when you get to the playoffs, the games aren't going to be, except for maybe the first week, 35-0. I do have a question for you, Mike. My wife, shout out to her tonight, recuperating from her hip replacement a couple weeks ago. She asked this question. I think it's a great question. We're seeing a lot of blowouts this year, huge scores, and what are we seeing that's doing this? I think there's a strata of really good teams, but I don't know why that strata has occurred, and then there's such a gap between of the middle and the lower echelons that we've not seen before.
I think that's a great question, and I asked a coach earlier this year about that particular point, and he seems to think this particular coach, who will remain nameless here after this play, continue this.
Pinsky, nice little dump play. Oh, Dropped by Salem. Be second down.
You know, a lot of these players, they want to move into programs that are successful because they want the colleges to look at successful programs, because at the college level, you've got nil money now. So that might have something to do with it, Mike. I'm not sure, but I have noticed that as well. A lot of blowouts taking place. Your upper echelon teams and your middle of the pack teams are very few and far between. So I really don't know what the answer is. I know that a question that I'd love to ask the coaches.
That's Horner.
That's Horner, yeah.
Yeah, good catch by Christopher.
Question I'd like to ask the coaches is, what are your numbers like? You know, Barberton, for example, I know their numbers are down. In Brecksville, their numbers are down a little bit, but I know, talking with Coach Jason Black, those numbers are going to go up over the next couple of years. So I think it's a great question your wife asked.
As Fareed gets the ball and gets the first down for Hudson, as Hudson putting together a nice little drive here late, 2:26 to go. First down inside the 30.
But you're right to your point about, you know, you're up by Wadsworth, now up by 25 points. Coach Todd is really challenging the Grizzly defense to say, listen, you're going to play quarter, whistle to whistle, not take a play off.
So Lipinski rolls. Little out pattern is complete. First down. Mark Salem having a good second half.
I would say Salem's been a pretty active receiver, targeted by Lipinski a number of times, and Tommy Hahn on the coverage again for Wadsworth. Tommy Hahn's been a busy cornerback tonight.
Yeah, he's been called upon to keep up with this speedy receiver core for Hudson.
Yeah, I mean, what I see from Hudson is they're athletic. They've got speed outside.
Lipinski steps up. He's got room. He can go. Slides at the 10. Down to the 8.
Yeah, inside of 2 minutes now. And so this is a football team that could do some damage for the rest of the season. And obviously, if you're Hudson, you want to get into the playoffs.
Well, at 5-2 in the rest of the schedule, I think they're in the playoffs. The question now is seeding. As Lipinski kind of throws that in the dirt. Third down.
Yeah, I think he was trying to hit Horner.
Yeah, Horner did. That was the previous.
But for Coach Justin Todd, there's some confusion over there in the defensive lineup on who's going to play corner over there. And
oof,
is that ball batted?
Yeah, it's number 4. Hitchcock tried to get to it. Unable to get there.
Tommy Hahn there on the coverage once again for the Grizzlies. And Hahn will step out.
Yeah, tune in next week for the Brecksville game. Never know what special guests we'll have, so that's incentive enough to come see who's going to be here in the booth, and hopefully enjoyed the Ben Gideon interview. And congratulations again to the inductees into the Hudson Hall of Fame. As Lipinski running around, we're going to get a penalty, so he needs to just finds the receiver, but it's not going to count.
Yeah.
We're going to come back. A nice play by Lipinski. We talked about this at the half, Mike. Let Hayden run around.
Yeah.
He sees the field so well. He's a basketball player in the winter, and we cover him on HCTV as well. So he has great court vision or field vision, and seems to make plays when he's under pressure and being running around and can see what's going on in the chaos. It seems to be a popular new athletic term of art.
Right, right.
You know, it was physicality, now it's
chaos. Yeah, yeah, we hear that a lot with pitching chaos or base running chaos. But no, we did talk specifically about that, and Lipinski doing a nice job on the scramble, but unfortunately a block in the back is called against Hudson, and that negates the touchdown.
Yeah, and brings them back 10, 15, 10, I think 10. So it'll be third down again. Another opportunity for Lipinski and crew to get a touchdown here or to run some play. Good experience because, you know, Wadsworth, I don't know how many of your backups are in now, but you're still playing against the first team defense. You're making them work a little bit here late. And you guys got to like it because it's, you know, your endurance for a full game. You need that. You need those reps, and so.
No, our guys needed a football game like this. They're going to get. They knew it was going to be a smash mouth football game. They're going to play 4 quarters. They needed it going into next week against Nordonia, which is another quality Suburban League opponent. It doesn't get any easier for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, Nordonia the past few years, right there with Hudson, with Wadsworth for the Suburban League National Division crown. You got Hooray. Oh, what a catch. Good. Touchdown. Jaden Carlton on the alley-oop from Hayden Lipinski. Jaden also on that basketball team and quite a performer on the hardwood. Just throw it up for Jaden, let him try to catch it, and he does. And Hudson with the 20-yard touchdown pass, Lipinski to Carlton.
Yeah, I think that's something, if you're Hudson and Coach Jeff Goff, that's something you definitely want to build on going into week number 8.
And the extra point by Cats, number 26 of 26 on the season. And a 20-yard touchdown toss. Just going to be a simple, he goes out, and he's going to go out in there in the corner and just throw it up for grabs.
Nice job of that Hudson offensive line, giving Lipinski plenty of time to find his receiver for a touchdown. You'll see it again. Creates a nice pocket for Lipinski, and a great catch. Coverage was there, just a great football play. Hudson trails at 35-17, 1:03 left here.
Remember, tomorrow night, the Parade of Bands will kick off in the evening. And open house. Hudson Community Television has an open house tomorrow, 4:30 to 6:30. Might even see the mayor there. I saw him earlier in the night, Mayor Hudson. So see what stars show up between 4:30 and 6:30. You can see the studio, Mike. You can come down.
Oh, I
tour
stopped
the studio. Maybe send your guy over.
I stopped by it earlier today. I got here
there
early.
They are.
And yeah, the studio is wonderful. Everyone here at HCTV, very cordial, welcoming here. It's been a pleasure, Mike, to be here with you on the call. Great facilities here at Hudson.
Onside kick is recovered by Wadsworth at the 45.
And look who, number 5, Tommy Hahn.
Yeah, Tommy Hahn, just a great ball game. He's one of your, one of those kids who's probably in the weight room early. He's probably doing extra reps on all summer long, and comes out and just plays a really solid ball game. So good luck to Tommy. Good to cover you guys. See you up close and hear a little bit more in detail about your team.
Again, these guys know that to get to that level in the state playoffs, you've got to put the work in an off season, and you're seeing the fruits of all of that labor now as Bryson Hall will take a knee and will run the clock out.
Formation. So congratulations, Jason Todd, on 7-0. Hudson now goes to 5-2. Hudson was sitting at number 4 in the Region 2. I'm sorry, Division 2, Region 2.
As Bryson Hall will let the play clock roll down and take a knee, and that will do it.
So as they shake hands here and go out, we'll go out for a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll come back, do a quick recap of the game. As we said, the final score is 35-17. Wadsworth takes out Hudson in a clash of titans here tonight. And on Hudson Community Television's Game of the Week, presented by the Goodis Group, Howard Hanna's #1 team in the Hudson office. Thank you for tuning in down there in Wadsworth. We'll be right back after a few words from our sponsors for a wrap-up and a little preview for next week.
You're watching the Hudson Community Television Goodest Group at Howard Hanna Game of the Week, brought to you by these fine sponsors.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Murdoch Field at Hudson High School in Hudson, Ohio for this week's Hudson Community Television Game of the Week recap. I'm Michael Rickman, joined by Mike Elkins from Wadsworth Community Television, who's doing co-broadcast of this. And also, don't forget, we're on the Rock Entertainment and Sports Network tomorrow night at 10 p.m. with a rebroadcast of this game if you missed it on any of those various options or the HCTV app. Mike, just a dominating performance for Wadsworth tonight. They needed this game both for the rankings in Division 2, Region 6,
right,
as well as just a big-time opponent for the Suburban League National Division.
Yeah, big game for the Grizzlies here tonight against the Explorers of Hudson. And it was really one in the trenches. We talked about the physicality coming into this football game, and Wadsworth doing something they really haven't done all year long, and that is dominate offensively with the run. And what I mean by that is there was no 50-50 between pass and run. It was probably 85-90% run tonight.
Yeah, they showed your offensive line. Hudson tried to come back on that defense, on that offensive line with their defensive line. They blitzed some more, run blitz, held down Bryson Hall's passing ability. When he did throw the ball, there was always seemed to be Hudson guys by him, and so we saw your offense really have a great night. Hudson stifled by your defense, Wadsworth defense in the first half. Hudson started to get some things going as they kind of opened things up. Maybe they were a little too conservative in the first half when they just kind of went to just throw the ball around the field, create some chaos, as we've joked about. That seemed to work pretty well in the second half. Horner started to get involved. Lipinski showed what he can do, running around, rolling out, escaping pressure.
Yeah, Wadsworth will be on the road at Nordonia next week. That will be streamed back to Wadsworth from Nordonia. The following week, we'll be home. And again, you can catch that on WCTV or watch WCTV on our YouTube channel.
Now, Hudson, we got another broadcast next week. It'll be Brecksville. And then the following week, we have Nordonia as well, but that'll be here at Hudson. So back-to-back weeks, we'll be back from the Hudson Community Television Station. Parade of bands tomorrow night, and in the evening, Hudson Community Open House at the TV station studio on Hudson Aurora Road from 4:30 to 6:30. Stop by, see who shows up, and check out the equipment that you see here on Friday nights. So on behalf of the best video crew in Northeast Ohio, we want to thank them again for all the pictures and sound that you see from all over the field, from the field goals and the Malzahn Center to Laurel Lake, all around town. We appreciate what they do, and they are fantastic. So with that, we want to thank you for tuning in, both in the Wadsworth community, hi to my friends down that way, as well as the Hudson community and around the world on the HCTV app. You have a great evening and a better tomorrow, and we'll see you next week.